Okay, welcome back to our Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea campaign. Currently uh, in the Crab Archipelago, the party is in search of the Lost Treasure of Atlantis, but also possibly to rescue a couple of children who may have been kidnapped, or you have on good authority have been kidnapped by a pirate who at this point is having drinks with some of the player characters. So I guess we'll kind of go through, do a little character intro here, and we'll figure out what's going on. So let me go back here so I can see you guys, and I'll start here. And let's say we're going to start with Tony. Hey Tony, tell us about your character.
Brighill, the imposing the Khromarium Celt warlock, is sitting there, Pinesta and the pirate lady, and she notices Muda and Basil as they go to leave, and she looks over at Pinesta and kind of rolls her eyes, and she's thinking to herself, "They're going to screw something up. I just know it." And then she turns her attention back towards the pirate lady and laughs at something that she says, and now she's a little nervous, not knowing exactly how the plan may go out. That is Brighill the Imposing, the warlock.
Excellent. Speaking of Pinesta, Nikki, tell us about your character.
I play Pinesta. She is a bard. And yes, she is talking to Tartok, the captain, with Brickhild to try to find out about these kidnapped children. Previously, she had talked to the council here on the island and found out that a lot of them go to the mines, the copper mines that they have here, and that they are all paying tribute to the crabmen in some way. So she's a little worried the kids are going there. But of course, her old friend, Aramis, told her that that the Witch Queen of Hyperborea was also looking for Hyperborean children. So it's possible that somehow these things are all related, given that the children stolen were, in fact, I believe, children of a Hyperborean merchant. So she's kind of trying to piece things together as she talks up this captain, and that is Pinesta, the bard.
That is correct. They are Hyperborean children, and it's not just the children that were taken, but the entire merchant ship. So there are many bodies that are going to be forced into slavery or sold one way or the other. Crystal, tell us about your character.
I play Callista Kixlios. She comes from a wealthy merchant family and has managed to pick up on the magical arts. She travels for reasons that that she's told to Benesta, but for everyone else is pretty much she's just looking for more magics and to extend her knowledge. Um, Callista actually managed to see Basil and Muda leaving the bar last time, thanks to her ability to look through the eyes of her raven companion, Rascal. And so she is now getting up from the bar, and she sort of looks over towards Brighild, and when she's sure that Brighild sees her, she just kind of nods her head towards the door and keeps walking, and that is Callista.
Excellent. Okay. Mike, tell us about your character.
I am Muda Adi. Muda's a Lemurian. So he is a very diminutive fellow. He is a purloiner. And right now he is intent on trying to find what is in the holds of these ships. He knows that Basil wants to go out and talk to this man that's out there, but he's been with Pinesta and Callista and has heard about these children, and he's concerned about that. So he figures this will get him closer to the ships, and maybe this fellow in the cage has some information about the children, and that's Muda.
Excellent. Rush, tell us what's your character.
So I'm playing Bale, the former mercenary, who finally feels after several weeks slash months that he's had some battles with his new group of friends. They aren't really a new group of friends anymore, but he's had enough battles with them that he feels that he's proven his worth um, in the martial sense, having struck down the great white ape and several other creatures and bad guys and whatnot. So he's feeling pretty good about himself, and he's eager for this new adventure here in these northern islands. And that's, yeah, pretty much that's Bale's personality. Very easygoing for the most part. That's Bale the mercenary.
Excellent. Currently hanging out there with Helene, the cleric.
Yes.
And finally, Young, tell us about your character.
So Basil is a veteran cavalryman from Khromarium City Guard. He's a decent swordsman and an archer who specializes in what he calls ride-by shooting. Basil is an Amazon male. He's got black hair and incredibly thick eyebrows. He stands about 5 feet 8 inches tall. And Basil really can't hold much liquor. So he's leaving the Bloody Bucket to basically get some fresh air and to see if he could learn from that poor fella trapped and waiting for a certain death by fire come morning. Because in the previous session, Basil gave him some water as he was walking by. And as a response, the prisoner told him to come back in the night. So, I mean, Basil also has a very low opinion of Cranfok at this point, since the town harbors pirates and allows child slavery to continue. So he's very doubtful of the guilt for that prisoner. He's going to go up there and, basically talk to him and find out what's happening. And maybe, depending on his answer, he may actually try and help him.
Excellent. Yeah, so you head out there. You can see the two ships are still, of course, docked along with your ship that's kind of floating further out. There's the two cages still there. He's still in the cage, just like anything else. On both ships, you see some lanterns lit, and of course, sailors, drinking or, rolling dice or whatever they do at night when they're on duty on the ship. But obviously they're not allowed to leave the ship right now, although they probably want to. As you're kind of walking out towards it, you also notice. I mean, it's dark now, so you can kind of. And it was snowing earlier, so we'll say it's still kind of cloudy. You can see that there's on the wall. If you remember, there's like a palisade around the main Cranfok. You do see a couple of guards. With lanterns, kind of standing at a post. So they don't seem to pay you much heed, but they can definitely see you as you walk across the open land towards the towards the cages that are hanging there. All right, cool. So I'll take a second. You're gonna follow behind there, Colesta?
Callista saw that other guy following them, so she is going to, like I said, she nods at Brighild, then she walks out the door, and she's just gonna follow about somewhere between 20 to 30 feet behind the guy that's following them.
Okay, sure. I mean, essentially, you guys will come out of the. You're gonna come. You come out of the K5 essentially, which is the bar. They're at this point you see your two friends Basil and Muda kind of crossing the open area, like right around where it says K4. kind of crossing out into that open area. Probably, did maybe quick look around, start walking. You come out, you see that gentleman, and then he doesn't enter into the openness. He kind of comes by one of those tents that's near the end, and he stops, and he just kind of sits in the shadows of the tent and kind of watches them walk out. So if you want to stop 20 feet away from him, then you're kind of in the middle of the camp. And he's kind of at the edge of the camp, and they're walking across. You just want to watch him?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. Are there any like stands or anything around?
Stands?
Like, I don't know. Is there like a market or like are there groups of people around or anything like that?
No, it's a tiny little. It's like 5 tents, 6 tents maybe. The only thing that's around that's kind of like a public thing would be is the bar. This is basically this area. K4 is essentially the travelers' village, so it's basically people setting up tents.
Okay.
That come and go. Yeah. So there's no.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, she'll kind of stand around them, but she'll sort of like stretch and just kind of act like she's getting some air and kind of keep an eye on that guy.
Okay. Yeah, he's pretty much like crouched in the shadows, like watching them. I mean, since you saw him, it's pretty obvious to you what he's doing. But any people out here don't really see him because he's kind of off, on the side of a tent. So, yeah, they just nobody pays you any mind. You got those 3 soldiers that spoke a strange language that are kind of looking at you. Otherwise, it's just campers. You know that merchants come and leave here. I mean, you've heard that. People come on, they join a ship, they leave a ship, that kind of stuff. So that's who most of these people are. There's a very, very stinky drunk man kind of sitting, like in the center of the kind of area where you are, kind of like near a tent, but not in one. And he is just kind of laying on his back, looking up at the stars, with the few of them that you can see, and also you see Saturn, of course, in the sky, and you can see that he made like some snow angels, but now he's kind of lost interest in that, and he's just laying there. Okay, so inside, Finesta and Breakhield, you are with Tartuk. Anything in particular you want to say to the pirate captain? The tall, beautiful Eskimo woman with close-cropped black hair.
I think we were talking to her about her friend who did the 5-finger fillet.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, he was very lucky.
Yes, he was, and holds his drink very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she, she's warming up to you, so she asks you. She says, "So, you came in on a merchant ship. Are you trading up in this area?"
Yes, we have several trade goods that we're trying to offload here. We've met with the council, and I have high hopes for a successful business relationship. She smiles.
Oh, excellent. Anything in particular that you trade?
Well, we have furs, some gold and silver.
Oh,
Some sewn goods. I have a little business as a trader in various cloth and things like that for sewn goods.
oh, excellent. I've been
Perhaps
known
you
to
would be
move some
interested
product
in
myself.
some fine. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Well, perhaps you'd be interested in some fine silks, or something for a nice outfit for when you're in a nicer town than this. And she gestures around.
Yeah, she kind of looks around. She says, "Oh, well, I don't keep on board a seamstress. Out in the seas, I I feel like a man with a sword is more useful to me than a man with a needle.
Oh, that is very true. I have a few handy men with swords around myself.
Smart.
But you would look very nice in silk.
Yes, I've heard of this silk. It's becoming
From
more of the
Lemuria.
rage here. Yes. Quite expensive. The trip to the Remnant is very dangerous.
Yes, it is. Have you ever been?
Oh no. I stick to where I'm from. Waters I know very well. I can navigate with my eyes closed.
Well, that's probably smart. But not always lucrative. What sort of goods do you trade in?
Oh, I take goods from one place and bring them to another. You know. I consider myself one who transports versus one that trades.
Ah. Well, transportation is just as important.
Yes, we're currently carrying a lot of arms and armor. We won't sell many here on Krenfak, but in one of the larger towns closer to the main continent, there should be a market for it.
You should not spread that news around much unless you have it well guarded. You know, people will do anything sometimes for weapons.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. I don't have good men, but I have a lot of them, and sometimes that's what you need.
Well, that
She
is
lies, she
true
lies.
because most men are not good for much of nothing anyway. But as you say, if you have a bunch of them, that's
Yes. She laughs and drinks a little bit of it.
Ouch.
She says, yes, they are dogs, but they do the job when it's needed. The two guys that are with her kind of scowl a little bit. Because she has two men with her, actually. They look decent, these two guys, though. They've got... they're well put together. Not like the guys you saw on the ship. You know, because you saw men on the ship that were on the deck that were just kind of, you know, very ragged looking. These two guys that are with her look like they're trained soldiers.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, you're, Rush, you're interacting there with the, with the cleric. And you're comparing hammer size. I think that she said she was going to bed you. So, yeah.
She said, I like you. I might bed you later. Was her
She said, I might, yeah.
Yes.
So she's yeah. So you know, she tells you that you know, she says, so I'm traveling with a man, Vixian. I don't like the way he feels, if you know what I mean. If your ship is heading somewhere interesting, I might want to speak with your captain.
Well, I mean, we're always doing something interesting, and usually interesting things also tend to be dangerous things, but judging by the weapon you carry, you don't strike me as one who shies away from, who would let that discourage them in any way. But we are seekers of mysteries, artifacts. Occasionally we we offer to help, you know, less fortunate. Um, we helped save a town from rampaging beasts at one point. But there's always usually blood to be shed. It's an interesting group of companions that I travel with. But my captain is a beautiful woman of song, poetry, and prose. In fact, and I kind of motioned over my shoulder. I said, "It's the redhead sitting right over there, sitting with another one of her confidants, Brighild, the tall one. Uh, she definitely has a mind of her own, but when she's risen to anger, it is a sight to behold. I assure you."
She nods a little bit. She kind of squints at the two redheads.
Yes.
But, you know, Brigghild's bigger, so she can identify. So she says, well, they seem to make friends with, let us say, I wouldn't want to disparage anyone, but that's not exactly the company that I would want to be around. So either they are up to something, they are fools, or they're not quite as kindly as you describe. Kind of.
Usually when they do, whenever they're doing, when the two of them are usually doing something, there's usually good reason. But you know, that's captain's business, and I am no captain. I simply she points at what needs to be killed, and I kill it. You know, for the most part. I mean, not to say that I'm single-minded and simple myself, but yeah, I know what my purpose here is. My purpose is to provide safety and to make sure that that they stay alive. But one reason why we do well as a crew, possibly, is because of the fact that, well, we do have. Those aren't the only two women in our crew, and you know, there's another, a magician, and you know, they lead us well. So who am I to question? Clearly, if you are of the people that I believe you to be of, you would surely agree.
Nope, she nods. Well, she says, well, I would speak with your captain once she's done, as I could definitely need a ride out of here. I hate to. And she looks around again for who clearly is not there, the magician that, or the captain that she's riding with. Yeah. So out in the main island part, you guys walk across the Muda and Basil. You guys walk across that kind of stretch of land towards the cages that are there, and you see your, we'll call him your friend. You see Panaral, right? He doesn't notice you right away, even if you're not trying to be particularly sneaky. He is basically sitting with his head kind of against the the bars, as it would be of the cage, kind of looking up at the sky. And when you get closer, unless you're trying to be sneaky, as noted, he'll eventually turn and look. And kind of, it takes a second, like his eyes kind of focus. You know, clearly he was like in a different state, and he he sees you and he says, my friend, you have returned.
I see that you've gathered your senses. Panorel, was it?
Yes. I would Say, well, maybe I am pleased to meet you if you can get me out of here. These people are vicious.
Well, my friend here and we were at the Bloody Bucket, and we just couldn't stand the smell and the sight of bloody fingers flying about. So we decided to just take a little stroll and see how you're doing.
Like a krill bar?
Yes, I would. And he kind of he reaches out of the cage for it.
Yep. I'll hand it up to him.
Okay. Yeah, he takes it.
Points at it and says, those are really delicious. We found a whole lot of them while adventuring a few months back.
Oh, well,
A little
yes.
salty.
He starts to chew on it. Oh, God, I haven't eaten in a couple of days. They just leave me here with the threat of killing me each morning. I never know when my last day is. This is no way for a man to die.
Basil looks back at the guards. Are they fairly close or are they far away?
The guards are. I'll tell you exactly how far away they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're about 200, 300 feet away. 250 feet, maybe, something like that. Roughly.
How far away is that drunk fella?
The drunk is almost as far away, but because he's back at the village. So if you look in roll 20, like the drunk guy is currently he's in the center of the village. And the guards are up here at K6.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and you guys are down here. Of course, there's also people on the boats. That nobody seems to be paying you too much mind. I mean, clearly you can see the guards are looking in your direction, but they're not like, they don't have like bows out or anything. They're just kind of looking at you.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, so he looks at the man and says, we didn't get a chance to talk much last time that we were walking by. So tell me a little about how you found yourself in this predicament.
I was here with my brother.
Is that the
Lowers his
set
head.
of ash over there you said?
Yes. We were deckhands on a vessel, and we thought maybe we could get better pay on a different ship, so we decided to stay here. And we took Yakun of the Bloody Bucket up on his drinking contest and won. But then when we did, the locals said that no, we hadn't won, and they dragged us out here.
I've seen that man drink. It's quite a feat,
Yes, well, my brother was quite a drinker. Unfortunately, he will drink no more.
I'm surprised that Yakun has all of his fingers still, if he's been at it for quite some time.
Yes.
And that's why they burned your brother?
That's right, because we won. Don't gamble with them, they're cheaters.
Surely there must be some other reason why you're here. I mean, to break a word like that and to persecute you in such a manner, it's outrageous. Then again, they seem to be a bunch of pirates from what I could tell.
Oh, yes, there are pirates here. He kind of gets down low. He kind of looks. I've been here for a few days now.
Basil takes a few steps away from the direct line of sight from the entrance of that village, behind in the shadow of that cage, and he leans closer and says, "You've seen a couple of children here being sold?"
Kind of looks at you and he says, "Well, I would not want to go to the underworld, the afterlife, with a burden upon my chest. However, you should know that I am a good man, so if I were to help you, perhaps you could help me."
He looks at Mura.
I think a good man would just, do it for good instead of making it a bargain.
No, of course. I wasn't making it a bargain. No, of course not. I would of course do it for good, but you wouldn't want to let a good man die, is all I was saying.
Wow.
True enough.
If you were
Well,
to
I mean,
drop
Sounded like a
dagger-
bargain to me.
I do hear what you're saying, Muda, but considering that the man is caged over here across the bird cage where his brother has burned to death, I think he's in a fair position to ask for our help in getting out of here. Well, do tell. As a former Khromarium guard's honor, I shall help you if I deem that what you tell us is reasonable enough.
Ah,
Or
Khromarium.
seems plausible enough.
Zathakwa is with me. Yes, yes. The ship over here. When he kind of like, he's kind of put his eyes. The one with the men on the deck. And then clearly he can tell that you won't be able to tell. He says, he gets this Dreadclaw. Because it's like they're carrying slaves. And I have heard that they will bring the majority of them tomorrow at daybreak to the copper mines, but they are leaving 2 here. Supposedly, they are too young to work in the mines, is their reasoning. They're going to leave them with the guards before they leave at dawn.
Villagers, you think?
This boat here?
Do you point at it?
Yes.
From your days here,
He immediately like turns it. He kind of like stuff. He's like he doesn't know where there's nowhere for him to go, so he's kind of looking around. Let me see if any of these guys see you. Yeah, a couple guys on the boat see you pointing, and they say, "You point like that, you're going to lose your fingers."
I wave.
Oh,
I just wave at him.
okay.
and Basil, after hearing that, he leans back, putting his hand on his hips, and starts to laugh out loud. Ah! And points at the man that's caged, and slams the cage and says, "Good one! You rot in hell, you bastard!" And he lowers his voice and says, "We're being watched by those pirates, I think. What do you propose we do to help you out of here?"
If you can make a distraction. My brother is coming. When Saturn drops below the trees. My other brother.
Okay. He immediately says, "I thought your brother was dead over there."
Right.
Scratches his.
No, my other brother.
Or your other brother.
Yes.
Your brother from another mother?
No. He was on a different ship.
I see.
Right. And
He
this
is no
isn't a
warrior.
bargain.
What do you mean?
No, that's fine. He's a warrior?
No, not at all.
He's not a warrior.
No. If he was a warrior, he would have rescued me already. He's been here now. Waiting for an opportunity, but they're going to kill me any time now, every morning. There's a chance.
You've been
Yes.
staying out here quite some time for a few nights, and I imagine that when the guard is least alert during the night.
Well, when Saturn drops below the trees, that is when the night is the darkest. And my brother plans to come and cut me down. But
I see.
if there was a distraction,
Will
that
do.
would make it easier.
We shall arrange that. Well, I shall. If unless Muda objects.
Well, you said
did?
you were a leader of men, were you not, Basil?
Hmm.
And
Well-
many men, right?
Indeed. However,
Yes. And
you
you,
know
were,
the
you were a clever leader.
well. He rolls his eyes and says, "Well, there were times when, yes, we will rescue him. I am
Yes,
certain
but
it shall be fine."
yes, but did you ever have men not listen to your orders?
But Muda, you're not one of my men. You're a
No,
equal
but did you
colleague.
ever have men not listen to your orders?
very seldomly.
Okay, but
Khromarium
when
guard.
you did, how did you feel when you punished those men?
Well, I just follow uh, the rules that are in place.
Right. And how would you feel if someone were just to come along and throw those rules out?
Yes. However, Muda, you've gambled in the past. There are certain codes of honor that you must keep. If you were to win fairly, then you should be allowed to keep your winnings rather than being caged up and burned to death. And he points to the other side. What I see over here, if I were to believe this man, and I have little reasons to doubt him so far because what he told us seems truthful enough, is that these ruffians have breached a code of honor. And I cannot just stand by and see a man who has fairly won his wages or a bid suffered because of following those rules. And pirates have no rules.
But these aren't pirates. And he points to the men up on the hill. He says, these are townsmen.
True enough. If I were to err in this respect, then may Artemis have my soul, and damn it, I shall pay the consequences. But I do trust
Yeah,
this man.
but it would not be just you. It would be me. And it would be everyone else who would pay the consequences.
If a limb develops gangrene, you cut it off. So if you feel that I am a burden to the rest of the group, disown me. Say that I have gone crazy and done something foolish on my own.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you feel that it's wrong to burn them, then why don't we just kill them another way?
Yeah, but why would you want to kill a man who's being punished for nothing that deserves punishment?
You're taking the word of a criminal.
But-
please don't kill me.
These are hypothetical scenarios. We're just talking.
But
Muda
he's a
and I.
criminal. You're a criminal,
not.
right?
No, I did nothing wrong. I was wrongly accused.
I see what you're doing, Muda. Are you trying to convert me to Rel's worship?
No. But this man is a criminal.
Well, tell you what, Muda. We could.
I think criminals are prone to lie. And criminals are prone to cheat and steal and make false bargains.
What do I have to gain? I've given you the information already. There's nothing else for me to gain.
Oh.
We have learned that the slaves are being kept in the Dreadclaw. We have yet to confirm it. We could sneak in there or take greater risk. But at this point, he is a man who's not related to us. If we were to simply provide a distraction, we're not essentially springing him out. We're just having fun, that's all. And
well, what if we wait for them to burn him and then spring him out?
Yes, but
it is within our power to do it then.
Muda, I don't want him to die. That's just what I wish. I mean,
okay.
do you truly wish to see this man die? You have shared a krill bar with him, and I've given him my water skin earlier.
I have a lot of krill bars.
It's true. We have broken bread together. That is true. We have broken krill.
Yes.
You should not.
Okay. Well, yes. Let us see if these children are here. And then if they are, then let's let them go.
Certainly. Well, Artemis willing, perhaps if we verify what you tell us is true, then One's Jupiter. Was it Saturn?
Saturn.
When the
was
Saturn,
Saturn.
hits when the Saturn hits the horizon, you shall see your distraction.
Yeah. Or we'll burn you ourselves.
Yeah,
kind of
sure,
eyeballs you.
perhaps. And he
Uh,
smiles.
Okay.
I mean,
So
do you
stepping
want to
out of the
change
woods, Callista, you're standing there and watching everything, and you notice stepping out of the woods, kind of at this area over here where these trees are, because you're kind of in the middle here. You actually see a man step out of this tree line. He steps out. He kind of looks up at the sky. He seems to be like kind of wiping something from his hands. And then he kind of turns and walks back towards the travelers camp, kind of where you are. And then maybe like 30 seconds after him, two more men come out of the woods. Those men, this guy is basically just, he seems unarmed. He's just a slim, bald man with a long mustache. Coming out of the woods behind him, though, are two men dressed in chain armor and shields. So they're like warrior types. And they're walking towards the travelers camp.
Sorry,
Cool.
they seem to be like following him.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
they're not being sneaky or anything. They just kind of walked up behind him.
Yeah. I mean, unless Callista sees differently, she'll probably just assume that maybe those men are like his bodyguards or something.
Mhm.
I mean, like, does he seem like a well-to-do guy?
Yeah, I mean, it's dark, obviously, but as he's approaching, you can see that he's not like dressed in armor or anything. He looks like he's some kind of, he's not a local either for sure. He's Ixian. So, yeah, you would imagine that he's some kind of merchant or something. And as he kind of gets closer to you and kind of comes into the light of the travelers camp where there's fires, you can definitely see that he's well dressed, yes. And he actually stops at the edge of the camp and turns, and the two men kind of catch up to him, and so they're definitely together.
Okay.
But they always stay a few paces behind him as he kind of walks into the camp.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't see anything too weird about that. She's still kind of watching the shady guy that she saw earlier. You said that is there like a fire in the camp now or anything?
Yeah, in the camp itself, there's like it's basically a bunch of individual people with their tents. So they all have like small fires. So there's general light in the area.
Okay. Are there any women around any of the fires?
Good question. Who is in the camp? That's a man. No. Well, everyone you see are men.
Okay. She'll just kind of like come up to a fire then, and she'll just say, do you mind if I join you? It's a little nippy out here, but that tavern is so stuffy. And she'll kind of like rub her hands, but she's still like she wants to approach in such a way that she can still keep her eye on the guy that was like following Muda and Basil earlier.
Okay. Sure, you could do that. I mean, the only people that I mean, you see these tents with these little fires in front. The only people that are like outside, unless you want to walk up and look at a tent that has somebody in it, are the guys you talked to earlier, the soldiers that were speaking Latin. So you can certainly walk up to them and say that to them, and you would still be able to see the guy. They just kind of grunt at you. I mean, they don't. They seem confused as before. They are wearing kind of strange, armor and seem to be soldiers. And they say that they're looking for the fight, basically the Ninth Legion. But of course, they already asked you, so they would not ask you again because they already asked you guys.
Okay. Then Callista will just kind of walk up to a fire, and unless someone like tells her to leave, she'll kind of stand there and rub her hands and put them in front of the fire.
Yeah, nobody asked you to leave. Yeah, you can watch that guy. He doesn't seem to move. He's just watching what's going on with your other two friends there. Okay, so back inside, Brighild and Panesta. You guys are enjoying conversation and drink with the captain. Eventually, she says, well, I guess I must be getting back to my ship. It was good to converse with you. Hopefully we'll be able to make some trades at some point. I am Tartok, I don't know if she said that or not. I think she probably did. And my ship is the Dreadclaw.
It was
Oh,
nice.
do you have
speaking-
a
Oh, go ahead.
do you have an early start tomorrow? Are you leaving soon?
Yes, we have some product that we need to bring up to some of the islands, to the copper mines, first thing in the morning.
Oh, that sounds intriguing and interesting. They don't have need of that arms and armor, do they? And Brickhill kind of laughs.
No, she smiles. She says, no, they do not. The miners wear hardly much but loincloths, and of course the crabmen, they do not. They've got their own, which kind of knocks on her head, They have their own hard armor, if you will.
Well, before you leave, I do have a question. The elders here, are they very susceptible to speaking about, well, let's put it this way, maybe trade goods that would be flesh and blood?
Oh yes, of course. You must feed the mines somehow, correct? I mean, you mean living flesh and blood, right?
Of course, of
Oh,
course.
yes, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just making sure. She laughs. Yes. However, I don't recommend getting any of them from Xambaala. They are not easy to keep in order, if you know what I mean.
Ah, I've heard of that city before. Panesta, I believe you've been there before, haven't you?
I have. And they are people that they know their minds. That's for sure. I can imagine they'd be hard to keep in line.
Yes.
The council mentioned that they are the ones who assign where the new workers, shall we say, go. Do you trade a lot of workers to the council?
When I come across them, I do. Like I said, I transport what I can find. Sometimes arms and armor, sometimes soft goods. Once we had an entire boat full of rams. Let me tell you, the boat stunk for a month after.
That must have been a journey, a boat full of rams. They didn't try to
Yes,
fight each other the entire time?
They indeed did. The racket was tremendous. Clack, clack, constantly.
Well, where do you find, if we were to want to expand our business, is the best place to find workers?
That, my dear, is a trade secret.
I see. She'll just smile. We'll have to get to know each other better then, maybe.
Indeed.
Yes, when will you be back to call on the port here, do you think?
Oh, we should be back in about a week.
Well, maybe if we are still in the area, we could rendezvous here and have a more personal meeting, the three of us.
Of course. I always make my rounds when I come. Actually, 2 weeks, I'm sorry. So a week, right? 2 weeks, you said.
2 weeks.
Yeah, she's leaving
Well.
tomorrow morning, and she'll be back in 2 weeks.
Well, then we wish you safe travels and good hunting.
She nods and she gets up. She throws some coin on the table to cover the drinks and stuff that she and you guys had when she was there, and walks out with her 2 men. You can definitely see that there is a decent amount of villagers in here now as well. Like, as you've been in here for the last several hours. At first, when you first showed up, it was mostly what you would imagine to be travelers. But you can see the people from the village actually coming here too, because you can see the crapkin. You can tell by the way they dress. These ones particularly, they paint their skin red, and also they wear like chitinous jewelry and stuff.
Well, Brig, she keeps her cards pretty close.
Yes, I hope none of the rest of our party tries to intercept her when they see her come by in a few moments. I guess it would be best to maybe after she leaves the dock in the mornings I think we would have a better chance of trying to, speak with the council and maybe obtain the 2 children for now and try to return them back to where they need to go.
Yes, at least that would be a good thing to do. And there's a reward for that.
I think we would have less resistance with the council and these village guards than we would with her and her entourage. The way she speaks, it's probably quite a few more men on that ship than we could take for right now.
I agree. And she seems to know how to handle herself. So.
Oh, yes, I would definitely agree with that.
Yep. Which I always like to see, even if it is a pirate captain.
Cool. Yeah, so you outside Callisto, you see Dark leave with her 2 men. The man that you saw approaching they kind of pass each other and they kind of look at each other and nod heads, and then he actually goes into the bar. And of course, on the inside, you guys see this Ixian with long mustaches come in with two men in chainmail at his sides.
And Bale's still at the bar too, isn't he, with the Amazon?
That's right. Yep. And when this man comes in, Bale, Helena looks and she spits on the ground, and she said, "Sorry, the sight of that man."
I take it that is the traveling companion you spoke of earlier.
Yes. Can you smell the evil on him? Oof.
Well, the evil, no, but I am no holy man.
You do smell cinnamon.
Oh,
He smells strongly of cinnamon.
you smell like manhood and cinnamon. But no need to worry. Should he make his way over, he will be kindly asked to move along. But and as point of order, my captain appears that she has finished her conversation up. Now would be as good a time as any to make your way over and speak with her, and that will give the man even less of an excuse.
Yeah.
To bother
She
you.
says, "Yeah." She kind of nods and reaches over, picks up her giant hammer, and throws it over her shoulder,
Yeah.
and kind
What
of
was
says,
her name? What was
Helena.
her name again? Elena.
"Helena, yeah."
Elena. Okay. So I grab my cup, and I start to go that way, and I motion her to follow, and then I lead her over to the table with Pinesta and Brig.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's not Helene. It's just Helene.
Helene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So she, yeah, she comes over to the table with you guys, Brighild and Pinesta. You see this Amazonian woman, 5'6", stout, jet black hair, and a big old hammer. And she also has
Yes.
a huge scar across her face.
Nice. I walk over to the table and I say, I look at Brighild and Pinesta and I say, ladies, I see your conversation with the tall ship captain has come to a close. Yes.
Yes, it has.
Indeed. Allow me, if you would, to introduce Helene. I met Helene over at the bar, and she is of the Amazonian people, and she and I kind of look Helene over on purpose, and I say she appears to be one very capable of handling herself. As you can see, she obviously knows something of war, for she favors the finest of weapons, as you can see, and she may be looking for traveling, a group to travel with. And I kind of snap my fingers and I point over to Helene and I say, priest, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So, anyway, I told her that you were our captain and that Madame Brighild was definitely one of your confidants, and I told you that if she had business, that the two of you were the ones for her to speak to.
Yeah.
Well,
So
if
she,
anyone, go ahead.
so yeah, she yeah. So she says she kind of looks at Vale and she says, "Well, this one talks a lot, doesn't he?"
Yes, he does.
I try to be polite. What can I say? I let my hammer do the talking when it's needed. Trust me.
Yes, we'll see about that. So, I'll be blunt. I'm traveling with, and she kind of looks at the guy with the mustaches and she spits on the ground. Someone I don't really want to travel with. If you are a good people, and your man says you are, I would like to offer my services. I am a priestess of Artemis, and as noted, I have a very fond attachment to my hammer.
I just kind of give like a thumbs up.
Oh my
Like
God.
that.
Wow. The mental image is pretty good. Yeah. Well, Helene, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I am Pinesta, and this is Brighild, and I suppose I'm the captain if anybody is, although I don't think there's anything official on our boat. But if you
I lean over and go, she's pretty much the captain.
But we're not going to be leaving for a bit. We do have some business to take care of here. But if you are, where did you want to go back to?
Well, I am traveling, and I am in no rush.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Because yes, we have business to take care of here on the island. I don't know how much
Okay.
our chatty friend has told you.
Not much.
No, I leave captain's business to the captain.
He
Well,
told
we're
me
honest.
that you seek adventure and that you save villages, which is all good, and that you have accumulated large hoards of treasure in your time. These are all things that Artemis approves of.
Yes, well, they are all true. We've saved villages, we've burned other ones, but they deserved it, don't worry.
Brigfield has been sitting there this whole time, not saying a word, just looking at her and the hammer. And then she looks up and she goes, "How did you get the scar?"
Nice.
Yes.
Well, she takes her foot and kind of pushes a chair out and then sits down. Kind of puts the hammer down and kind of sits, leans on it. She says, "Let me tell you a story." Let me see if it says how she got the scar. I don't think it does. Okay, good. Make it up. Okay, so she says, "I've had the scar since I was very young. I mean, she's not particularly old. Let's just none of you guys are particularly old. You're all like in your 20s. And this is how I found that Artemis was with me. My village was attacked, and I stood to fight with my family with an axe in my hand. Unfortunately, being of small size, when one of the men on a horse struck me, the axe split my face. From that moment on, I decided it would be blunt weapons for me."
Brigfield looks at her and doesn't say anything for a moment. And she goes, well, we have a couple men here who will probably get us into things that will require the use of your hammer. They are not presently in the building. They are probably out to some mischief that we are probably going to have to go save them here shortly, but just be prepared.
Yes, I think you'll fit in well with our crew.
I will say, as your man has pointed out, I am a fine warrior with the hammer, but I do not approve of unnecessary killing. So, I hope that you are not one of these murderous groups of adventurers that travel around, or we will break our tie pretty quickly.
Well, we certainly try not to be. In fact, the last time we set out, I actually spared the life of a large four-armed ape that was being held captive and being tortured, and it helped us until we reached our goal, and then it ran away and unfortunately slaughtered many of our wagon bearers. Something that I'm still struggling with a bit, but yes, we tend not to strike at anything unless there is no choice in the matter, or at least that's my my philosophy. I know that Brighild shares that philosophy. In fact, probably more strongly than any of us. But as the two of them just said, yeah, we have some people who are a little bit impulsive sometimes.
Yes, and speaking of that, Bale, let me go and check on the children. I think it's time to round them up. It's probably their bedtime. We'll be back shortly. And Brickyl is going to head out the door to see if she can find Calesta and the other two.
Okay. All right, yeah. You come out the door. Of course, you'll immediately see Calesta, who's sitting in the main part of the encampment there. She's
a good
warming
girl.
her hands in the fire. Yeah. I suppose back at did you guys, after you finished your conversation about possibly murdering the prisoner, did you were you heading back to the encampment?
I'm
Or were you
murdering the
planning some other-
prisoner.
Or were you planning on some other kind of subterfuge?
Well, what time is it right now? I mean, how far in time are we until Saturn hits the horizon? Or
You would imagine that will probably happen in about maybe 2 to 3 hours, based on where Saturn is currently.
okay, all right, yeah. He's gonna, just say, Muda, let's head back and report what we learned to the rest of our party.
Well, let's go on the ship.
We're right
no,
here.
no, don't be impulsive. It's just two of us, and you can hear me.
Well, exactly. They'll let us on.
You can hear me clatter along, a mile away with all
Exactly.
my armor.
Well, that's why we just walk on.
Yeah, but why would we want to go in there? You think we'll be able to rescue the children all by ourselves?
Who said rescue? We're just going to see if they're there.
Ah, no, I will not be able to do that. I'm not a stealthy fella like yourself, Muda.
No, we don't have to be stealth. We just have to see if they're there.
If I were the crew of that ship, if a couple of fellows were to try and come aboard, I would likely shoot them with an arrow.
Oh. Do you want to bet? Are you a betting man?
Not this time. I'm going to head back and report what I found out. And Basil turns and starts walking towards the inn.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are
and
you going
also
to try to-
if Brig sees Callista by that little campfire, she's gonna go up to seeing her first. She'll go up to where Callista is.
Okay. Are you going to try to sneak on this boat or walk on there boldly with Muda, or are you going back? With the...
No. Well, no, not if Basil's going to back off on me.
Okay.
My
that's fine.
my muscle is disappearing.
Basil
Yeah, I mean,
is
there's-
a complete
there's-
wuss
there's-
when it comes to that.
Well, and also there's well over a dozen men standing on that deck.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't thinking I'm going in there to fight.
Yeah. So you guys are heading back, and as you do, you pass by who you probably don't know it's Tartok, but you pass by Tartok and her two men. You know, they go past you. Everybody kind of passes each other, and we'll just put you all now in the
Do we go past by the drunk and the trio of Romans over there?
Yeah, that's where you are right now. Yeah. So currently, you're kind of coming up on Callista, who's warming herself by a fire. Brighild, who's just come out to interact with her, and then you can see the drunk laying there, the Snow Angels, and the three Romans. So yeah, you guys are basically all together in that one section, kind of coming together.
Yeah, Basil walks towards the trio of men, and he's got his hand on his forehead and he's rubbing it, and he goes over there and looks to the three men and says, "Hey fellas, I got a problem here. Maybe you guys could help me come up with what to do." And looks at the trio.
Okay. Yeah, they kind of look at you. You know, they have very broken common, because you don't think anybody speaks Latin, right? So, yeah, they kind of get you. They say, "What is your problem?"
You see, one of my good fellas is a Khromarium. And this fella has a nerve enough to go up to an Amazon like myself, a woman, and he's to bet her. Would you accept that if you were me?
They kind of speak together in Latin for a second, and then he says, "You will all be Romans soon."
True enough, but I think I have to do something. I think I need to prove my manhood as an Amazon male. And says,
They raise their glasses and they shake them.
If I were to wrestle my mate, my fella, would you cheer me on as loud as you can?
Yeah, Romans like wrestling.
Good. I think I'm going to go back there and challenge him later.
They pat you on the back.
All right, if you cheer for me, I'm going to buy all of you a round of drinks.
Okay. Yeah, they seem into it as much as you can tell.
Sounds great.
And they sit back down.
All right.
So yeah, Brighild, did you see these guys in Callista? You see these guys interacting with the Romans?
Mm-hmm. Is that Shady Guys? Has he been watching Bale and Muda the whole time?
Yeah, he watched them come back, and now he's still sitting there watching the cages.
Okay, he's watching the cages.
Yep.
Ah, okay. Meta, I think I know what's going on. Uh, so when Brighild gets close, Callista's gonna say, like, kind of out loud, but normally, like, Brighild, I just needed a little fresh air. And when Brighild gets a little closer, she'll uh, she'll then lower her voice and uh, nod towards the guy sitting at the camp, and she'll say, "That guy, it looked like they were following Muda and Bale earlier. He seemed to be watching them pretty intently, but now he's just looking towards the cages, I think."
I would be curious to know what his intent is, but if he's turned it away from Basil and Muda, maybe it has something to do with the man in the cage itself.
Perhaps. Maybe I know I saw Bell and Muda talking to that guy earlier, so maybe we need to ask them what he has said to them.
Oh, there's not a bit of telling what they are up to with that man in the cage. They're not going to drag the rest of us into their little pity party for that man. That man is a criminal. There's nothing we can do for him, as you probably agree.
Yes, of course I do. I don't think I would rescue anyone in this camp. And she kind of like shudders a little bit.
You hear a
Well,
voice, actually, when you say that, from inside the tent that you're in front of, because you just went to a random tent, as you said. And you hear a man's voice. And he says, well, that's kind of a bad attitude, don't you think? And he pushes open the tent, and you see a man. He is an Ixian. Yeah, he's Ixian. Dusky and well-muscled, tattooed, covered in tattoos, shirtless. He's just sitting there cross-legged. He has a big smile on his face.
Well,
please continue. It's such an interesting story. And then you see him, he reaches down, he has like a wine skin next to him, he picks it up and he drinks a little bit. And then he says, oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to be rude. I am Dagados, and please enjoy my fire.
Oh, what do you think of the man in the cage?
Oh, I think you are correct. It is not our business to be involved with criminals.
Yes, but I think people that I know want to be involved in it, and it will turn them into criminals, and we'll have more people in cages before the morning comes.
That is true. This will not bode well. This is a dangerous place to be if you are on the wrong side of the village. It's a very small island, but they have excellent hunting here.
Oh, you're a hunter?
I am a hunter. I mostly hunt caribou. And there are excellent caribou here.
Do the hides bring much?
The hides are not that valuable, but the dried meat is excellent for trail rations. So I bring them to the larger cities to sell to those who choose to adventure, if you know what I mean.
Do you have any samples that I may take?
Oh, of course. He kind of turns around and you hear him kind of shuffling around, and he pulls out some like dried jerky, big slabs of it. And he hands some to you. He offers some to Callista as well.
Yeah, Brick's gonna try it, see if it's any good.
Yeah, it's good.
Callista will, have some as well.
It's good. Like it's a little spicy, like a little salty, but not too much. And he obviously eats some too. And he says, what's great about the caribou meat is that not only can you eat it dry like this, but if you boil it in water, you can make a stew. Well, far too many travelers just eat dried meat all day. It's just boring over time. But the caribou rehydrates. Excellent.
Oh, we'll have to keep that in mind.
Brig is going to reach in her belt pouch and grab a couple of gold and throw to him and say, well, it seems to hold up to my stomach pretty well. I would like to buy however much that will buy there.
Let me see. He says, he turns around and he pulls out a couple of, probably at least 2 weeks worth. And then he reaches back and gets a third one, and he kind of gets it. He says, he hands it to you. He says, because you're a good customer. I appreciate it. So you can see actually too, because he's got his tent open, you can see in there. He's basically a guy. It's pretty nice for a tent. Like he's definitely decked it out. He's got like furs spread out on all over the things. He's got some, some containers, some large, like basically hard side. They're not chests. They're kind of out of leather, but they're like chests, like they're blocks, which is where he got the meat from. And he says, yes. So I go out in the woods and I take down the caribou and I dry them out. And then I bring back the meat. Then once a month or so, I get on a boat so I can head back to Khromarium and other places to sell.
Is there a certain ship that you take voyage on, or just whichever one is at the dock at the time?
Whichever one is at the dock. Currently, I have a reservation, shall we say, with Ankos. He is a spice merchant who I've dealt with in the past. That's why there's that slight hint of cumin that you taste in the meat.
Well, it's just enough to make it give us a little kick, let's say. Very tasty. I will share some of it with my friends back at the tavern.
Excellent.
And we will take your words of wisdom about dealing with the village council here. As you say, sometimes it can be touchy, and especially if you try to get involved in affairs that you have no business in.
Yes, I found it's best to not be involved in affairs if you can avoid it.
And Brickia will look towards Callista to see if she had any further conversation that she wanted with him.
Callista will just say, well, I thank you for the advice and for the meat. It was quite delicious.
Anytime.
Yeah, and if she sees that, can we see Basil and Muda over there at
Yep.
with the soldiers from there?
Yep, you see them come in and they're talking to the Romans, and then I guess they're finished talking to them now, as this is all happening.
Yeah, she's going to whistle at them, and when they look, she's just going to motion for her hand to come here.
Basil says, oh, it's Brighild. Let's go and talk to her.
Yep.
Gentlemen, if you will follow me back to the captain needs to speak to us about our voyage we'll be taking soon.
That sounds excellent. We do have something to report to you and Panesta also.
Oh, yes, yes.
I didn't think we had a captain. I thought we were more like a collective.
Yeah. But, Panesta has been around for quite some time, and I don't mind calling her captain.
Brickia will look towards Callista and just roll her eyes like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah, like Callista just kind of like shakes her head ever so slightly. And she says, well, I do have something I need to take care of real quick. I'll be back inside in just a moment.
We don't stay out in the cold too long now.
Of course. Like I said, I'll be right back in.
Brig is going to try to corral Muda and Basil back to Bloody Bucket or whatever it is.
Yeah. Dadagos says, good evening to you, and he kind of closes the tent flaps, and you hear him kind of move around back there like he's laying back down.
Good evening, and thank you for the meeting.
Basil glances at him and says, damn Ixians. Those damn necromancers are everywhere. He doesn't, say that to his face, of course, but he mutters it under his breath.
Oh, well.
Callista is going to she's gonna walk out like sort of outside the camp, like I guess sort of let's say towards these trees here.
Let me get to roll 20. Go ahead, do it again.
Okay, these two trees will be
Okay.
fine.
Yep.
And she's gonna like just kind of walk by that guy she was following earlier. She's not gonna say
Okay.
anything to him. She's just gonna kind of walk by him.
Yeah, when you turn around and start walking over there, the guy's gone.
Oh, good for him. Okay, and what Callista would like to do, the last thing she'd like to take care of, when she gets outside the camp and she's kind of sure that no one sees her that well,
Mhm.
or could see her, she's gonna call Rascal over and she's gonna tell him go home and send him back to the boat.
Okay. So you're gonna go up to those trees first, or are you not gonna go up
Uh,
because the guy's not there?
oh no, yeah, she still is because like she
Okay.
wants to kind of be in a way where like no one can see her calling her Raven.
Okay. Yeah, so you do that, and you send Rascal off, and kind of as you like look out to watch them fly out towards the water, you see that down on the shore over here, there seems to be somebody sitting there.
Hmm. Uh, just like a person.
Yeah. Let's see. You know it's not the guy because it looks different than him. Let me see if I can give you any kind of basic description from so far away. Let me look at her description. Yeah, you can see that this is this person has long gray hair, and is kind of has like kind of a like either some kind of a fur or something wrapped around themselves, and they're sitting down on the ground, kind of just looking out towards the sea.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Callista's going to approach him, and like as she kind of gets close, she'll say like, it's awfully cold out here. Sitting next to that water must cut you like knives.
They don't turn, but you hear a woman's voice, reply back to you. She says, "Yes, but there is solace in the sea, especially when you know someone you love is out there."
Hmm. I see. Who is your loved one that is away?
Come, sit.
Callista will join her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she looks at you with unfathomable brown eyes. It says, imagine that. And you can see she's definitely a a crapkin person. Her face is painted with the red and everything. And she looks and she says, "My brother, he, as the seventh son of a seventh son, was sent. Well, he says he was sent. He was told. He saw a vision, we'll say, to go to the ends of the earth, where the lightning strikes and the sea turns red, to live with the crabmen. Which is a great honor, but still, I miss him."
Hmm. That is understandable. Uh, will he be coming to visit you? Do you believe?
I fear not. He left a year ago,
Okay.
and he has no boat to come back. He was dropped off.
Oh, wow. So this is a spiritual journey of sorts then.
Yes, like me, he is a shaman. Oh, I'm sorry. I am Sagani. I am the shaman here in the village.
Nice to meet
She looks
you.
at you for a second. She says, "I feel something. You are a magician."
I dabble in the magical arts from time to time.
Hmm.
I'm Callista, by the way.
It's nice to meet you.
You as well. Uh, if you don't mind, did you see a man come out of those woods earlier? An Ixian? He was fairly well dressed.
The merchant?
Yes.
No, I did not see him come out of the woods, but I know who you mean. There are only 2 Ixians on the island that I know of right now. And one is certainly not well dressed. He hardly wears anything. And he's a hunter, not a merchant.
I think I met who you're talking about.
Hmm.
Would you like some caribou?
Oh no, I only eat crab.
Ah, I see. Well, just saw a figure down here by the ocean. I didn't want them to freeze to death, so I decided to come check on you.
That is very kind. Well, everything happens for a reason.
That is what some believe.
And do you not?
I'm not sure I have an opinion. I do follow uh, Horus, Aurorus, and his teachings.
The Shining One.
Yes, and Callista, she probably has it like tucked down inside of her shirt right now because of where she's at. But she'll kind of pull up, and she's actually wearing a gold holy symbol of Aurorus.
Oh, interesting. She kind of frowns a little bit. Oh, interesting. That would explain a lot.
Oh, like what?
Well, Horus is a god of chaos, and thus believes there is no point.
This is true. But I draw many inspiration from many places. What do
As
your
do we all.
gods have to say on the subject?
On what subject?
On everything happening for a reason.
As I said, everything happens for a reason.
Yes, I guess I should have expected that. Seems rather obvious now. Well, if you're going to be okay down here, then I'm going to go ahead and return to the tavern. I believe my compatriots are having some kind of meeting.
I see.
It was nice to meet you.
Seek me out before you leave on your journey.
I shall
Callista.
keep that in mind. And
she turns and she looks at the moon and the stars and stuff again. Moon, so you'd say.
Callista will like bow politely, and then she'll start heading back towards camp.
Okay. Cool. All right, so I guess everybody's now meeting up in the Bloody Bucket. So we'll say, by the time Callista gets here, you guys have all kind of got a table together. You see there's a lot of locals, Krabkin here now. And they are drinking and kind of, having a good time. But you're able to kind of get a table, and they don't seem to be paying you much mind,
Basil walks up to the bar to order a pitcher of like foulest swig that they have over there, and brings it back.
Song.
Yep, and he sets
That's
it.
all they got.
What's it called? Bird song.
A bird song.
Bird song. Yeah. Brings it over and puts it in front of him, and looks at it like bubbling up or something like that. He goes, "Oh, brother," and he looks at Penesta and Brighild and says, "Well, Penesta and Brighild, While Muda and I were out, we gathered some information that may be of some use to us.
Before
It's-
you tell us, have a piece of this, and she'll give you some of the caribou jerky.
No, thank you. And then he sets it aside. And he says, he leans over closer to Panessa and um, Brighild, and he says, you know, that fella out there, he told us that the Dreadclaw, the ship, is holding slaves. From what he told us, it seems like they're gonna leave with the slaves in the morning, come daybreak, but they will be leaving the children with the guards over here.
Oh, really?
That's
Who
what the
told
fella
you
said.
this?
It's that fella who's in that bird cage. I also asked him why he ended up in there, and it seems like he looks at that bucket, you know, with fingers. It seems like his brother and he were the ones that took upon the wager and beat that beast of a man who has displayed quite the dexterity earlier. Apparently, he didn't like the fact that his brother won, so they ended up uh, imprisoning them in that birdcage. That's what I'm told.
Oh, yes, innocents. They're always innocent.
Are we
Still,
all together?
Yeah.
I will sit there and go, "Ah." I said, the man is set to die. He will tell you anything.
True enough.
You've
Just
seen
got
this.
terrible.
You've seen this man drink. You've seen what he can do. Do you believe that that waif inside that cage actually beat him?
It is not he who beat him, but his brother who's all about ashes by now.
Oh, well.
Basil, did he say the children or did he just say two people?
Uh, from what I could remember, he did say that the small children would be left here in the town.
Okay.
Muna, is that what you heard as well? Just wanted to
Yeah,
confirm.
2 children.
Yeah.
But he also
That's-
has a brother that hides in the woods.
Yeah. He just
Well,
shrugs.
Panesta, that sounds even better than if they leave the children here and then leave back into the ocean. That may be even better for what we have planned.
I agree, and we might not have to deal with Tartok or her men. And I think that Vale and everyone who says that a man going to die will say anything might be true, but unless Basil and Muda told him, he could have no idea we were looking for these children. We are just traders, as far as
Yeah.
anyone here is concerned.
Well, from what I could gather, he told us out of a repayment for the kindness of his heart, for the kindness that we've shown him, for feeding him water and sharing him some food, for he has starved for days and suffered from thirst. But however, he does say that his fate is unknown, so we just simply left him there to hang.
Well, you may take him this piece of jerky then that you refuse to eat. I'm sure he will like it.
Perhaps so. But I do not like the gamey smell of caribou meat, especially if. And he sniffs on it, and I could smell the Ixian spices, and he puts it away.
Well, it's better than shrimp.
Sacrilege. Shrimp.
Krill bars.
Shrimp and krill, on the other hand, Basil, like, puts up his fingers. These are some delicious meal that we found in that old hold. I still enjoy them. He pulls out another krill bar and crunches down on them. Delicious.
Well, I think you're right, Brighill. I think this bodes well, and I don't see why he would lie in this situation, given that he doesn't know that we were even looking for them.
No, that is probably some very valuable information he let slip, not knowing, as you say.
Except that he thought that we were going to let him out of the cage.
But that is up to him and his would-be rescuer, if there are any. It is not a concern of mine at all.
That is the Most wise thing you've said since you've been here, Basil.
He just, crosses his fingers and, he puts his interlocked fingers under his chin and he leans on it and says, "We all do what we must. We all must pay the price somehow."
He's gonna go let him go.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I have nothing to do with that man's freedom.
No, you will.
I mean,
you
would
know it.
I would like to see him go free, but however, I would not get involved at all.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Did you say he has a brother that hides in the woods?
Yes.
That is what he says. However, it is not a concern of ours.
Although he was confused if it was the one who burned or if he's the one in the woods. That's what got me confused too.
From what I could gather, he has two brothers. One has died, the other one has survived and escaped.
See.
Or he just made him up on the spot.
Maybe he sees things that we do not.
Or he lies a lot. I don't
Oh,
know.
most definitely that, I would say.
These are strangers that we've met in this far remote island, and you have no stake in their safety.
Yeah, right. And so why would you suddenly throw everything away to save him?
Why would I do anything? I would not. I would not spring him out at all.
I do
Okay.
have a question for you, Basil. You seem to have taken friendly, of course, I know why, being a soldier yourself. Seem to be taken friendly with these foreign soldiers that have advantage of the camp. Do you think if things would go worse to worse, they would fight for coin?
They do seem like disciplined men. They have very high opinion of their own legion, from what I could tell. I would beg to differ. I would say Khromarium guards are more disciplined than those rabbles. However, they do seem like disciplined warriors, nevertheless.
Well, maybe if things go bad, we could enlist them, at least give them some coin to help us fight our way out of here if we have to.
From what I could gather, they were also looking for a way out of this island. They were stranded from a shipwreck. Remember, we heard that tale earlier in the day.
Yes, that is true, but I don't know. That would be up to Pinesta, I think. I don't know if they would be long-term voyages with us.
The Roman soldiers? I don't know. They might try to make us Romans.
Romans do
Yes,
what Romans do in Rome, anywhere they are.
However, we have made a new friend. Well, Bale introduced us to her. And I would introduce everyone to Helene, who I'm sure is still sitting there listening to us talk. So
Basil looks at Helene and his eyebrows, his incredibly thick eyebrows, shoots up a little bit, and he smiles. And Basil says, "Milady."
and I will look at Helene. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Basil Dracos, an Amazon like yourself, at your service.
Oh, those are some impressive eyebrows there, Basil.
And I'll look at Helene and say, well, obviously now you know that we are looking for two children that were stolen away from their family by the pirates that reside or that do business here.
Well, she says, she looks down at her cup, which is empty, and then she kind of looks at Bale.
Basil, with his cup of booze, slides it right in front of her, and then says, "Madam, Helene, was it Lady Helene? A true warrior like yourself must have keen eyes. Might you know anything about the man that's caged outside? From what I could tell, they have beaten that boorish fella, that dexterous boorish fella that kept his fingers earlier. Is it true that his brother beat him?
Okay, hold on. I'm not sure if she knows one way or the other. Let me just quickly check that. But I will say this so before I will get back to that in a second because I'll look at that. She says, well, I don't want to speak out of line. And she sips the drink. And she says, however, you may have trouble with the council as Tok Tok's sister is one of them.
Yes. Yes, that we
So
knew.
Convincing them to turn on her sister might be more difficult than one would imagine. So as far as the man in the cage, he was there when I arrived 2 days ago. He has been singing the same song the whole time. I do not know one way or the other. However, we could ask Yartom, who's the barkeep, as I think he should know. Would you like me to ask? Yarkon.
Aircon.
I shall go over there and ask her myself.
Well, I mean, if
Yeah,
she
so-
knows Yarkon fairly well, I say let her ask. Callista will say.
You know, Callista, that is very
What?
wise.
What are you
Yeah.
implying?
Oh, I'm not implying any. I'm just saying you said you've been here for a
You're
little
saying
while.
I know a man very well is kind of an implication. I'll have you know that I'm a priestess of Artemis. And he's ugly.
Basil smiles.
I didn't mean to offend you.
It is Amazon culture, Callista. Worry not.
And so she goes, she just raises the hammer up in the air and she bangs it on the ground and she says, Yarkon! Yarkon! Why is that man hanging in the cage? She just yells it across the room. She's a Basmuda.
I was gonna say I like this woman.
I lean over to Muda and I say, I think she's going to fit in very well.
Exactly.
Yeah, so he spits on the ground. A lot of people are spitting on the ground around here. There's a lot of spitting that going on. But that's, he comes up and he says, "Ha! That man and his..." Yes?
Sorry, no, nothing. I'm.
That man in the one who burned... okay, let me see exactly what happened. I'll tell you exactly what happened now. They were, that man said the all-powerful Zathakwa had forgotten the weak crabmen even existed and that the crabmen would eventually be extinct. Pfft. The crabmen will never be extinct. Eventually, all of Hyperborea will be crabkin. Don't you agree? He smiles.
He is Crabman, right?
He's a crabkin, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, crabkin are basically just people that worship the crab. Like, crabman is like a monster.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's painted red and everything, yeah, so yeah. He's definitely from around here. He smiles with his ugly smile.
Basil says sacrilege. He would
Exactly.
say such a thing in this town.
Yes.
The man is
Can you
bold
believe it?
indeed.
Yes. We're going to let him starve to death and then feed him to the crabs.
Basil says that alone must be worth all that punishment that he's going through right now. Is there any other offenses that he's committed aside from such a sacrilege?
What other offense could there be? Committing a sacrilege. He's lucky that we don't stake him down and let the crabs eat him alive. The council has been lenient, allowing him to die first of starvation. Then the crabs will eat him.
Well, it wouldn't appear that the gentleman in the other cage, there was no leniency for him. What was his crime?
Well, no, it was the both of them boasting as such. But, when you're excited and in the moment, sometimes you burn people. So, looking back on it, we kind of wish that we hadn't, because it would have been better to watch him die of starvation. As well.
Passing by, he was boasting that he won a bet against, who was it? And he taps his head.
He won no bet. He's a boaster. That's what he is. And the ship that they came upon has left him there, knowing that they were nothing but criminals. Criminals committing sacrilege.
And for that, they must pay the price.
Exactly. If you speak negatively of the crabs, you become food for the crabs.
It is only common sense. Yes. There ought to be a posted law someplace that every visitors may educate themselves on the customs of this island. Such an ignorant, poor fool would be hard to find if that were the case.
He shrugs. If fate brings a fool to the island, fate brings food to the crabs. I'm feeling a little sober now. Does anybody want to have a drinking contest?
Basil motions. I like a drink, but I will not have a contest. I've seen what happens to those poor fools, and he points at those 7 fingers on the bucket.
No, that is for 5-finger fillet. The drinking contest, you won't lose a finger, you'll just lose your money.
Not this time around, my friend.
Okay, and he slams the table and then he goes back.
Well, just a moment, Bale.
Yes.
Maybe you should enter that contest. I mean, your woman here would love to see how much drink you can take, I'm sure.
Well, first, allow me to clarify something. And he motions to Colleen. He says, "This is not," and he does the air quotes, "my woman. At least, that is more up to her than it is to me. I simply saw someone who enjoyed using the same weapon that I do, which is a rarity. That's the first thing. Second thing is I have no, given what has been going on this evening, I have no desire to be without my wits."
Basil puts his arm around Bale and says, "Let us have a little talk privately, my good friend Bale."
Later. Well, later. I'm not going to drink with this man in a contest. I proved my worth once on the field of battle where I was told, "Live and be one of us or die." And that was the last time I did any kind of contest. I feel no need to prove myself to anyone. My hammer does the talking that needs to be, speaks the words that need to be spoken.
Basil cocks his head and says, well said indeed. And it was a good choice for you to stay sober, Bale. But if you
Yukon
would...
says, well, anyone can kill a man, but not anyone can drink birdsong and keep their wits about them. And then he just turns and walks away.
Well, good for you.
Okay, so what do you want to do? You guys are around the table. Anything else you want to do tonight?
I'm sorry.
Yep, go ahead.
Did Helene talk about being with that Ixian at all?
No, not to you.
Okay. Still don't know if I want to talk about what I saw.
Yeah, she only mentioned the ship that she was on to Penesta. Well, actually, Penesta, Brighild, and Bale.
Okay. All right. Well, I tried to get rid of her earlier and it didn't work. So, Callista is gonna say, I saw something kind of interesting earlier when I was outside taking a breath. And she kind of like looks, I guess, more towards like Penesta, and she'll say, uh, the Ixian merchant over there, and she just kind of looks towards wherever he's at. She says, he was out in the woods and had 2 bodyguards with him. I think that's kind of odd for someone to just be randomly walking around about in the woods with a couple of bodyguards.
He was just walking.
He came out and he was like dusting his hands off.
Hmm.
I'm not sure what he was doing, but he doesn't seem the kind of guy who would normally get his hands dirty.
My
I'll
question would be, though, is what business of his is part of our business, do you think? I mean, what?
Perhaps none. I just found it odd.
I'll look at Helene and I'll say, you said you traveled with him.
Mm-hmm.
You have any ideas as to why he might be out in the woods dusting his hands?
She gives a bit
Besides
of a wry smile.
Besides going to the bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. That's what she says. Perhaps he was relieving himself.
Perhaps.
Hmm.
I mean, he deals in spices. I don't know what spices might be in the woods. Perhaps herbs, but it would seem odd for him to be there at night. It's more likely he was just doing some personal business, if you know what I mean.
Maybe.
Well, it's a good thing to know anyway, Callista. We can keep an eye out on him, or an eye on him. Helene doesn't seem to trust him anyway, and strangely, I trust Helene. So it's a good spot.
Yes. Can't trust it, Ixian.
Daniel, quick question. The guy in the cage, is he Ixian also?
No, he is common, I believe. Yeah, common. He's a common man.
Okay.
No, he's not Ixian. The only Ixians you've seen so far is the merchant, the spice merchant, and then the guy with the tattoos with the caribou.
Okay.
Yeah, because the people here actually are. They're a mix, but they're not Ixian mix. They're Eskimo. Yeah, they're Eskimos here. So most of the people here are Eskimos. They're the Eskimo, and then the other group of crabkin that you know of are, I think, Celtic. Those are the ones that are closer to the main body of Hyperborea.
Not Pictish.
Yeah, or Pictish. Pictish, maybe. I always say Celts. I know. In Russian,
I wrote Pictish. That doesn't mean it
yeah,
is
Pictish. No, that makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Pictish. Yeah.
But most people here are Eskimo.
That is correct.
Okay.
That's the you know the local population is yes. No. At the base, yeah, they're Pictish, and at the further end of the are Eskimo. Yep. And yep, that's it. I mean, you see some common people, obviously the merchants and stuff that come in and go, obviously change, and the traveler village, although there's not that many people are now right now. You know there'd be a mix, like the pirates are probably mostly common, for instance.
Okay.
Yeah. So, any plans? And
No.
actually, before you answer that, maybe you can. It seems it's 9 o'clock. Why don't we? Well, after 9, why don't we take a break, and you all can figure out if and what you want to get involved in as Saturn begins to set towards the edge of the horizon.
Doing it.
All right, we are back. So you guys are at the. God, I almost said Raspy Raven. You guys are at the. The right. You're at the Bloody Bucket, and it's getting late. About another 2 hours before Saturn sets upon the horizon. Did you guys plan on camping at the Traveler's Lodge, or are you going to go back to your boat? Because remember, your boat's out floating in the water because it's. I mean, it's not closing time yet. I'm just curious if you had brought tents and stuff because I don't think we really discussed
I'm
that. Or are you
thinking
planning on going
for
Yeah, camp
safety.
out.
Yeah, camping out would be the best.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I guess we're camping out then.
back? You can go back.
I'd have
we-
rode
we-
back.
We
I'd have
figured
rode back to
Bale.
the
We
boat
didn't
and
figure
jumped in.
Bale would be with us anyway that night.
Yeah, you're not going to be with us anyways. What are you talking about? You got to bring her back to the boat?
Clearly, you guys have got the wrong idea here. She's
That's
the
a-
one that said, I might bed you later. I had no intentions.
Yeah, but she may actually have a good quarter.
Just
You
not
know,
actually gonna
a
say
good
no.
place, right?
Yeah, she's got a Well, she's not going to bring you on the boat, but
I mean, it's
yeah, she's got.
it is what it
a
is.
tent.
She's got a hammer. I've got a hammer. If she wants to show me hers, I'll show her mine. It's
Yeah.
all good.
Yeah, so at some point that's going to happen. I don't want to. I just don't want to put you out of action.
No, it's fine.
So, is there anything that I don't want to put you out of action while you're getting some action? So,
Get some action, yeah.
is there anything that the group wants to do before Bale is taken away by this Amazonian woman?
Basil approaches Bale and says, Bale, I got to talk to you.
Oh, fine. Come on.
All right. Well,
I just
Bale,
want-
you and I, we've been through some difficult battles against our foes before. So I trust you more than, many others that I've known in the past. You're a good warrior brother. So I will confide you in this. I intend to help that man that's sitting out there in the cage. Not personally, I will not get involved, but he has requested that I create a distraction for him, for his brother to come by and rescue him, for a man to be held till death from starvation for saying something about these crabkin. That's no crime.
Okay.
So I have an idea. I'd like to share this with you and see what you think. On the way back here from that cage, I saw the tree of Romans that we've encountered earlier. And I told him that I would try and wrestle you. He points to the sky, when the Saturn hits the horizon, I would like to call you out to wrestle in a very rude awakening. And those Roman soldiers are to cheer for me very loud, creating a rather festive distraction. I just want to see if you would play along and wrestle me for a few rounds.
You realize you're going to get yourself in trouble.
Well, wrestling you, of course, I would get myself in trouble, no? But I believe there's enough believable reason, seeing how you're going away with a calmly Amazonian lady. And he smiles and, lightly punches him on the shoulder.
Why do you insist on dragging me into your shenanigans, man?
Well, I could have just, given you a rude awakening with slurs and such, but I just wanted you to know beforehand that it is not because of any reasons that you may hear later. I just
Well,
wanted
I
to.
mean, if you happen to see me, whatever happens is what happens. But if you ruin this for me, then,
He leans over. Don't worry, Amazon women are fast and furious. They would probably fall asleep after I don't know, maybe after about 10 minutes or so.
Well, I mean,
Just do as what you're told, and they surely know what they're doing.
yeah, I don't need pointers on how to handle women, but
No,
again,
no, you misunderstand. They are very, very aggressive.
yes,
You're gonna get bruises in the morning, my friend.
okay. There's an old saying. Sometimes it's, was it my dad used to say, and he kind of thinks for a minute, something about uh, being ridden like a rented mule or something, because you don't take very good care of a rented mule because it's rented, it's not yours, something like that. I don't know. Regardless,
You know, Bale, you have lost me in your wisdom.
yeah, not shocking. Um, as again, if we run into each other, you do as you must. I do
Very
not
well.
wish to be involved.
Very well.
And I'll just go make my own way, like shaking my head.
Okay, does anybody want to do anything else before Saturn hits the horizon and the battle royale happens?
Brickiel just wants to. She's gonna walk, just through the camp, kind of where that fire was, and those soldiers, just nonchalantly, just walking around,
Okay.
observing things.
Yeah, you see, for the most part, now it's getting later. For the most part, you've got anybody in the travelers camp looks like they're kind of like nestled into their tents. It's kind of like the travelers spend time in the bar until like it starts to get a little bit later. Then as the locals start to fill the bar, most of the travelers kind of leave. So you see that it's basically that it's everybody's kind of in there either like with like the Mandarin soldier, the caribou meat. They kind of have their tents open with the fires in front. They're just like warming their hands. His tent's closed currently, but he still has a fire there. You do see, I guess you didn't see him before, but you do see kind of this one guy kind of just like slinking around without any particular place to be. But otherwise, everybody looks like they're kind of settled in. It's kind
Is
of
it
a
the one
youngish
that
guy.
Calesta had pointed out earlier?
Oh, she did point him out, right? Yeah, so yeah, it's the same guy, yeah. He's kind of going
He's
from
just
fire
kind
to
of
fire,
slinking
warming
around
his
in
hands.
the
Yeah.
tents.
Yeah.
And how was he dressed again? I couldn't remember. How was he dressed?
He's just in very simple clothes. Let's see if they have a description of him actually. He is. Where are you, man? Where are you hiding? He's hiding somewhere. He is. He's a sailor. He's dressed shaggy brown-haired mariner. He's got a dagger on his side. He's not armored or anything. Yeah, his armor class is 9. Yeah, he's just wearing like clothes, like sailor clothes, simple sailor clothes.
Has he
He's got
been talking to anyone, or is he just like stayed to himself?
No, he stays to himself. You haven't seen him talk to anybody. He kind of like goes by one fire for a little bit, then he kind of gets up, walks out into the darkness a little bit, then he comes back, and you notice he's looking up at the sky a lot.
Brickield's going to approach him.
Okay. Yeah, he looks at you and he says, good evening.
Yes, I notice you seem to be a kind of a restless soul too. We have to come out and stroll around and look at the night sky. I am, you may call me Brig.
Oh, I am Summerall. Nice to meet you. I came on a merchant ship a couple of days ago. I'm waiting for a new ship to go out on.
What
hopefully
happened to the
soon.
ship you were on?
Sailors, we go from ship to ship, changing up, mixing it up a little bit, and I had some business that I need to attend to here, and the ship left, so I'm waiting for another.
No, so you're looking for hire then?
Yes, there's 2 of us. My brother is an excellent sailor as well. He'll be here soon.
Oh, where's he at?
He's kind of being held up with some business, but he should be out of it very soon, hopefully.
Well, if you and your brother are here tomorrow, maybe you can come and find me at the Bloody Bucket or whatever. I will speak to my captain and see if we need any more assistance on our ship.
Oh, that would be excellent. What ship is it? Is it the Dread? You forget the name of the ship.
Oh no,
Is Dreadclaw?
we're not quite that famous yet.
Ah, or the Snow Serpent. So those are the two ships that are in the dock.
No, ours is a little bit further moored out. We had to come in by
Ah.
rowboat.
Oh, yes, I saw it right. Oh, fine ship. Interesting build. Not seen a ship like that before.
Yes, it serves its purpose for us. Yes, enjoy your evening. And as I say, if you and your brother are around the next day or so, I'm not hard to find. You can spot me and we'll at least maybe give you an interview.
Well, that would be excellent. We're definitely looking for work. We're hard workers. Hard workers. We are.
Yep, sure, just bid tidings to him and, slink back around.
Yep. He kind of does the same. He finishes at the fire they had or whatever, and he kind of walks out into the darkness, and you see him pop back later on and go to a different fire. And that's just kind of his process. So, all right. So while you're doing that, you're gonna pick a fight, or is somebody else?
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Before I go to bed, Callista would like to get a place alone, and she would like to use her crystal ball to see if she can see that caravan that's supposed to be headed towards Khromarium. My crystal ball only goes 500 miles, so if they're not within 500 miles, I wouldn't be able to see them.
Which caravan?
The caravan that she hired to take those valuables to the
You mean the
loved
belongings
ones.
of the fallen
Yeah.
from the previous adventure?
Oh, okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
They're on a boat. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, they're not on a caravan. I think they're on a boat. I think you put them on a boat.
Okay.
Or I thought you
Yeah.
did.
I mean.
Okay. Yeah. They are definitely out of range.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, you try to see them, but you cannot. So you believe that they are probably out of range, or they don't exist anymore. I guess.
Okay.
Whatever the reasons have, they would be able to see it. Yeah. And you could have easily done that, like in your tent, because you could set up a tent here. So. Cool. All right. So if nobody's doing anything else before Saturn drops down, as the night progresses, you're gonna pick a fight.
Basil goes in and gets a couple water skin full of booze, the bird song. And at night he's gonna stroll around and go up to that drunkard, the stinky drunk, and he's gonna sit down and says, "Say, do you know any shanties?"
Oh, yeah. Well, I do, but my throat's a little dry.
And then Basil smiles and pulls out that water skin full of bird song and says, I'm in the mood for a shanty, something real loud. And I would trade in this water skin full of bird song if you were to sing it for me as long as you can. How about it, fella?
Oh yeah, he kind of puts his he kind of sits up a little bit, and you can hear the ground kind of swish a little bit, and you kind of smell like urine, like he peed himself when he was laying there. And he says, I have an excellent song that I can sing about my future wife. I'm getting married soon.
Well, congratulations, fella.
Yes. She is the most beautiful captain in all the seas of Hyperborea. She is a killer and a lover and
Indeed.
a leader.
Tell me her name.
Her name is Tartok, the most lovely captain in all the Hyperborea. He kind of stalls back a little bit. And I shall sing of her
And what is your
Prowess.
name? And what is your name, fella?
I am Sumata.
Well, Sumana,
Yeah.
my name is Lover of Songs. And here it is for your beloved. May you wed her and live a adventurous life. And not a life like those poor imprisoned fools. And then he hands over the water skin full of liquor.
Yeah, he
And,
starts to drink it.
And he says, sing into the night to the height of your pleasure and enjoy. And he taps it on the back.
But yeah, he starts to sing a song about his love of Tartok. As he starts to sing it, and he walks out towards the he's heading towards the ships. Like he starts in the center of town, and he's singing. And he starts walking.
No. He's gonna go after that the drunkard and says, "You know who would really appreciate such
No.
wonderful."
She must hear my song of love, and devotion. We'll be
No.
married soon. You realize this?
Listen,
He's kind of,
you want to tell the village, the people of the village, of your love, so that
Oh, they
everyone.
know how much Tartak loves me in the village. I must go to my love. And he starts moving towards the ships again.
Look,
He's focused.
there's more booze. And then he takes that second the sack filled with booze and says, "You know what? This is for you. Should you go and tell the villagers?"
Oh, the villagers, they know. Well, all right, let me have it.
Haha, here you go. And then he hands it over to him.
So now he has two, and he's kind of drinking. And then he starts walking slightly towards the village. Then he turns and starts walking towards the ships again. And he says, like, Tartok, my love, I shall marry you in the morning. And he starts singing really loud of his love for Tartok.
Then Basil, he checks the time, and he takes one gulp of water and says, "Artemis be with me," and walks over to those Romans, and he holds out his shield and says, "Hail, warriors!"
Yep, they like slam their javelins on the ground, and then one of them in broken common says, "Do you have no drink for us?"
"Oh, let me get some for you. I have forgotten in all my restlessness that it is customary for people to have booze." And he runs back and comes back with a few water skin filled with birdsong.
Okay, yeah, and everybody even inside, this drunk is singing really loud, and he keeps yelling, "Tartok, my love, come, marry me," and yeah. So,
All right.
all
So
that's
he's
happening.
gonna go. He's gonna go back to the Romans, hand them the drink, and Basil himself is gonna have one drink.
Okay.
And when that's done, he's gonna raise up his metallic shield and he's gonna bang on it, doom, 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 and he's making a whole lot of noise. And he yells out at the top of his lungs, near the camp in the direction of where Bale is sleeping. He says, "Bale! Bale! Come out! Come out and face me, you would-be defiler of Amazon maiden!" And he says, "I, Basilius Dracos of Amazon, challenge you before these honorable Romans to win the right to court the maiden, whom you would steal from the virtue of a true Amazon."
And they're banging their shields and being rowdy. And of course, you still hear the guy singing as he's heading out towards the.
So where exactly am I at this point?
I guess you're in a tent.
Oh,
I guess
I-
that's somehow you got no tent.
I look over at Helene. I don't know how far things have progressed, if at all. And I go, I think your countryman is jealous of you.
Yes, yes. Well, he can have you after I have you.
I don't know. He's going to be out there making an awful racket.
He's gonna yell out. It's like, I would wrestle you to the ground. Come out, as it is the customary tradition of Amazonian male to
Oh.
challenge for the right to court an Amazonian warrior.
So I look over at her and I say, so do I just let him sit out there and make a bunch of noise, or do I actually have to go out there?
That's probably a good idea. Yeah, just let him soak it a bit. Yeah.
And then he's gonna be like, do Celts have no honor? Are you embracing your cowardice? Come out,
boy.
Bale.
I shout out from the tent and I go, well, I'm embracing something, you son of a bitch, but it ain't my cowardice.
Not before you emerge victorious from my challenge, you will not. And then
Well-
he's banging his shield as loud as he can. And
I
he
think
looks
you're
to
too late.
And he looks to the Romans and says, back me up. Come on, Romans.
Yeah, they're banging their shields and stuff. People are starting to come out from the bloody stump and bloody bucket, and you know the drunk locals are coming out, and people are popping out of their tents. They're opening up their things.
I take some. I take some from the tent and I start banging it like in a rhythm, like dung, dung, dung. I was like, keep that just like this. Dung, dung, dung. I like to have a rhythm, you know?
And then
Wow.
Basil is like yelling and he's like banging on his shield, you know, looking enraged. He's really egging on the Romans to be as loud and obnoxious as possible.
Oh, no, yeah.
Oh, I got it. Hold on. I shout back from the tent and I go, that's all right. Just keep making that noise. Like you said, Amazonian women you told me they can only last for about 10 minutes anyway. And then I look over at Helene. That's what he said.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's the situation here.
I was hoping she'd get all pissed off.
Yeah, she kind of just looks.
Anyway.
She seems amused by the situation. Yes, Callisto.
Yeah.
If Belle is making all this noise, Callista's going to come out of her tent.
Bale's not making all the noise.
I mean, not Belle. Sorry, Basil. And she's going to go like, well, is it still night or is it morning now?
No, it's like the darkest part of the night.
Okay.
He's going to have people kicking his ass.
So Callista's going to say, you know, I do need my beauty rest. If you don't cut this out, I will make you silent.
Brickhild is going to stand there and cross her arms and look back towards Panesta and go, where's Muda? They're up to something.
Where is Muda?
Yes, they are.
So for my part in this, I'm just going to look over at Helene and I'm just going to say, well, he also said that you Amazonians were particularly aggressive, but to be perfectly honest with you, I haven't seen a whole lot of that yet. And then fade to black from there.
Yeah, there you go. Cut to morning, black eye. Yeah, what's Mood up to?
I just walk up between Panesta and Brickhild.
I look at Muda.
Like, what's going on?
And I look at him and I say, you're right, you know. You're absolutely right. I think he's trying to let that brother go rescue him.
Yeah.
You were right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Should we
and-
help?
Yes, and speaking of the brother, I believe I met him earlier. He's the one that has been stalking around the tents, the one that Callista had mentioned about following you earlier, Muda. He's a very strange character himself.
I'll take a look down by the beach.
Yeah, it's super dark out there now. So I mean, you see boats.
Can't
Like,
see anything.
You see like lanterns on the boats, but you can't see like you can barely make out the cages and stuff. So at this
Okay.
point, yeah.
And
Well.
he looks to those Romans and says, "Make some noise, Romans! My foe is not showing."
Oh, yeah,
Here's
they make
some
a whole bunch of
more.
those.
Yeah, and then he's just egging them on to be as loud and distracted as possible.
Yeah. All this goes on for maybe like a half an hour or so, and then they run out of booze, and they're just like,
Can I do something?
sure.
All right. If Basil is going to continue to make noise, Callista warned him, so she's going to cast Hold Person on him. And since he's making it by himself, he has to make a saving throw at -2. Sorcery saving throw at -2.
Okay.
Wow. Oh, actually, subtract 2 from there. I don't even know whether if I made it.
No, you didn't make it. Anyways.
Oh no.
Okay.
And once Basil freezes up, Callista's going to look to the Roman men, and she's going to say, "If you don't want to join him, you will be silent."
Okay. Roll initiative.
Oh, really?
You just challenged 3 Romans to be silent. They're about to stab you.
Oh
Great.
no!
Great. Let's do it.
They got a 4.
I got a 3. They're going to
All
kill
right. They throw javelins at you.
Yep.
They yell, "Sorceress!" and they all whip their javelins at you. Let's see. What do the Romans got to do? Legionnaires ×3. All right. Well, the first one. Yeah, they have javelins, right? They just get 1 attack with the javelins. Three every 2. Yes, so they get 1 attack with the javelin. First one. Oh my god. 20. Rolls a natural 20. That's a crit. Second one. 12. What's your AC?
9.
That hits you.
No, 8.
Oh, still hits you. That hits armor class 7. And the third one is a 19. So, okay, so all 3 of them hit you, one of which is a crit. Oh my god, a 6 on the die, which is triple damage. Okay. So 3 javelins sink deeply into you. How much damage does javelin do? I don't think it does that much. Javelin. D4 plus 2. Okay, so the first one, D4. I'm going to roll a die and have that be tripled. Oops. So 6 plus 2 is 8. The second one is 3 plus 2 is 5. So that's 13. And the third javelin is 4 more. So 17 points of damage. And then they draw their short swords.
Okay.
And they say, "Stand down!" Which?
Hold Person.
Okay, you're going to cast a spell?
I mean, they fucking attacked me. Yes, I'm going to fucking Hold Person them.
Okay. Is anybody else in the party going to do anything?
Well, I got a question, Daniel. As
Yep.
far as time, would we have went back to our tent like the next time? I mean, would there be time that would have passed between this, or?
No, I'm assuming that she did this all well. I mean, if you could be there. You're relatively there. You're either at your tents or just inside the tents or right near
Oh
them.
man.
Good. Does anybody else want to do anything before we roll initiative? The guild.
Well, I would try to do what I do and de-escalate things. Like, wait,
Yeah.
whoa.
I'm not sure I even
Wait.
realize what's going on other
Yeah, you
than
probably
she's
don't.
just bitching.
Well, and she's casting spells against other party members and also threatening civilians.
I'm probably in
course,
the middle of
you-
a wrestling match.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can see that the locals, especially, that this witch just cast a spell on people and are getting riled up as well. So, what's Brigitte want to do?
Yeah, because we know they're kind of into us magic people anyway, aren't they? I mean, they don't.
Yeah, like they have shamans and stuff, but they're definitely right. They're not.
Oh man. I'm just gonna hold for right now. I don't really know.
Okay, Vanessa, did you want to do anything this round?
Oh, if I can try to talk to the Romans, I would like to try that.
Okay, you want to interpose yourself between the Romans and.
Yeah, I'm
Closer.
just,
Okay.
yeah, I do.
All right, and Cluster, you're casting a spell. Buddha, how about you?
I just look at Brighild and say, and you were worried about me.
Yes, I was worried about you and Basil. What? Oh my.
All right, we know what Bale's doing. And what about Basil? Oh, Basil's frozen. Okay, so go ahead and roll initiative, Crystal. They got a 2 that time.
Okay. 5.
Okay, all right, you go first. All right, so let's see. Melee happens first. Nobody's meleeing. So I'm going to say you can speak first before anything happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a lost cause, but I'll just say, hey, take a breath. Good soldiers. Wizards get very, 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 very cranky when their sleep is disturbed. And my friend here was making a lot of noise. And I'm very sorry about this. You've harmed her. You've made your point. No one needs to die here tonight.
Tell the wizard to stand down. That's what they say.
I'll look back at Callista and say, can we just end this here? I'll give you a potion of healing. Just
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, she just takes a breath and she turns and walks back into her tent.
I'll look at the Romans and I'll say, thank you. And, I'll bow or something obsequious, even though it grinds me to be obsequious.
They just say they kind of just these guys are beat up too, so they weren't looking for a fight, that's for sure. But they were threatened by a wizard, and Romans do not like wizards. So yeah, they pick up their javelins and go back to the fire.
Brickyard is going to look towards Muda and go, do you have some type of rag or something on your person that maybe smells like that Creole?
And I'll go into the tent with Callista.
I have a krill bar. Do you need that?
Yes, that will work. She's going to take the krill bar, go over to where Basil is frozen, jam it in his mouth, and start dragging him off to the tent.
Yeah, because he's frozen for a while, right? Like an hour.
On the flip side, though, that should have made for one hell of a distraction.
Yes. That may have been the best distraction ever.
I know, inadvertently.
Yes.
I will go into the tent and give Callista that our potion of healing, though. If she wants it. I said I would, and I will.
Callista will say, that's my fault that, that happened. I thought that if they saw magic, they would back down. But apparently they're more stupid than I gave them credit for.
Well, nobody died. So, and we all make decisions that aren't the best sometimes. If you need it, I have it.
Well, I don't want to die, so thank you.
I'll come to the tent. And I'll stick my head in. I'll go, Rel thinks you're an idiot. But do you need some healing?
You hear the voice of Helene. She's delicious. Really? You're gonna heal? Pfft. Man, this party can't even take a scratch without healing magic. And then she goes back with Belle.
Well, if we could not waste this incredibly useful
I forgot that she was with Belle. So apparently she got up and said it, or maybe she yelled it from the tent.
Yeah, she'll accept the healing if you don't mind.
Okay. Why did it not do 2 of them? There we go. 6 points.
There you go.
Woohoo.
Well, thank you. I'm not going to die immediately now.
Get some sleep, Callista. Things will look different in the morning.
Yes.
And they were Romans. I mean, what do you expect?
It was very brave. Very stupid, but very brave.
Well, they were making a lot of noise.
Yes.
Yes, they were, but that's what Romans do. All right, so you sleep. Unfortunately, we are way past midnight, so you're not going to be able to get any of the spells you cast back or healing.
And then I'm gonna drink that healing potion.
Okay.
I think it's 2d8. Let me go check.
And it is the next morning. You feel it's getting warmer, but it's the fog is coming across the land because it's much warmer today on the 23rd day of the 11th month of the 11th. No, the second month of the 11th. No, 11th month. Second month of the 11th year. They're in Roman numerals. It is foggy and warmer than it has been. Yesterday it was only around 30 degrees. Today it's going to bring up to about 55.
I have a quick question, Daniel.
Yep.
Yesterday when I talked to the council, they said
Yep.
they would arrange for us to meet with Hanapan, the trader. I just wondered if they'd actually given us like a time or if I had to go back and talk to them again.
We'll just say they'd come back in the morning or whatever, right after
Okay.
after the sun's up.
Okay.
So yeah, you get up from your tents, and you there's a bit of murmur around the town that the prisoner has escaped.
Basil, as soon as he opens his eyes in the morning, he realizes that he's got a krill bar stuck up in his mouth, and he just crunches and munches, and it's like, now that's what I call a convenient breakfast. And he sits up.
I look at Brighild and I say, should have been the caribou jerky.
I'm going to stick it somewhere else.
You wouldn't.
Oh God! Yikes!
I don't think she wanted to waste it either. It's good stuff.
Oh, what happened? And then he just rubs his forehead. It's like, it seems like I drank too much last night.
Well, it would seem that you had a bout of trying to show your manhood, but it didn't work.
Hmm. Oh well, you win some, you lose some, I suppose.
Your friend escaped.
What friend? What are you talking about?
The person you tried helping by creating the diversion.
Oh.
What did you just say, Muda? This was all Basil's plan?
Oh,
Basil just chews that, the krill bar, and he looks at him and says, Muda, your mind works in a very convoluted way, my friend. And he just
Wow.
munches.
I hang out with criminals. What do you expect?
So, in other words, when the city council finds out that Basil, you are an accomplice to this man escaping, I guess they'll find a cage for you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Muda just told the story of what you've done.
You know Muda. He's fairly blunt and imaginative.
Yes, and I've always wished I was a bard.
Well, I'm not. And I was
Yes.
upset.
And I'm
And
a
I
bad
drank.
storyteller.
I drank, I'm upset, and I'm still not happy that Bale was the one that ended up with Helene. She's an Amazon woman, and she should be with an Amazon man.
Yes, and I just told a horrible story.
I don't know much about Amazon culture, but aren't the women usually the ones in charge there?
They do. Amazon males such as myself must show devotion to an utmost level to even be looked upon. Because Amazon women, they're very picky, They look at us and say, I could beat up that man easily. So we have to do what we can.
Oh, some days I miss that ranger we used to have.
Everybody can roll a d6 for me.
D6? Okay.
That is a 6.
I guess I come
5.
strolling in now.
2.
6.
6. Look at
Oh, so
that.
all right, nobody got one. All right, so yeah, nobody notices the thing that happens.
I keep forgetting that lower is better when you ask
For this,
those.
yeah. I mean, 6 would have been good for.
If you guys stride up, I'll look at Helene and just kind of be like, so?
All right, so, yeah, nobody notices the thing that happens.
If you guys stride up, I'll look at Helene and just kind of be like, so?
For this, yeah. I mean, 6 would have been good for.
You guys, if you guys stride up, I'll look at Helene and just kind of be like, so? How was it?
Right. You do your thing. I'm listening. I just have to step away for 1 second. I'm just gonna mute myself.
Oh, sure.
But no, it's okay. Go ahead. You guys
Callista
can-
is going to
I'm
look to
listening.
Basil, and she's going to point her finger at him, and she's going to say, "You better hope that I don't find out that that whole stunt was on purpose, because I will make you pay."
Whoever said it was on purpose? I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'll have to teach you to be a really good bard, Muda. One of these days,
Exactly.
I'll
would
take you
love
on
to
as an
know.
apprentice. Yes.
See, because I'm a terrible bard. Horrible storyteller.
I come in like stretching with my arms out like that, and I'm just like, oh, an apprentice to Panesta.
Yes.
There are far worse things that could happen. She's quite talented, you know.
Yeah, I
Well,
hear
we've
that.
we've all heard the songs and whatnot.
Well, thank you, Bale.
Of course.
Basil looks at
I
Bale's face and says, "Say, was that bruise there last night?"
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, yeah, there's probably several bruises that weren't there at the beginning of the night. You weren't wrong. I'll just leave it at that.
Basil just smiles, and he's munching on his krill bar.
I feel like a horse that needs to be put down at this point.
I
But
need.
I am kilt and I will recover. Anyway,
Well, I'm gonna go and fetch some water. I'll be right back. And then he takes off.
Yes, Callista has many a fine song. It's how I actually heard about your group for the first time. I was sitting in a tavern one night, and someone began to sing a song. It was called something like "Holla Ain't Coming Back, Girl,"
Yep.
and they said that they had heard this song from the bard Panesta, so of course I had to
yes.
hear it from her own lips.
I don't blame you.
That was one of my best. Written about a fallen friend. That was a good one.
Callista, if you take no other advice this day, the only one I will give you is please stay away from those 3 soldiers. I don't believe you will ever be friends with them again.
Well, what soldiers?
Well, we had, while you were your distraction, we had a distraction last evening that involved Callista filling javelin points of those 3 foreign soldiers that are in the camp. They had a little disagreement.
Yes.
They threw spears at you.
Yeah,
Javelins.
ruined my
That's what
my cloak here too. She like has a hole in her cloak.
I look at Moon and I say, "That's what I said. Spears."
No, javelins.
It's a stick with a point. It's a spear.
It would seem that Basil's love-lorn song that he was trying to sing to you last night got him stirred up, and Callista, well, she shut Basil down, but it caused problems with the foreign soldiers.
They threw javelins
Javelins.
at you.
Yes. Not at
Well,
me.
No, right. I'm talking to. I'm speaking to Callista. They
Right.
just because you asked them to be quiet.
Yes, well, I mean, I might have demanded slightly.
Well, I mean, are you not a woman who needs her sleep?
That was the point that I made.
Have
Thank
these
you.
Romans never been fussed at by a woman before?
Well, there's a
That is
slight
not-
problem that the entire village now thinks she's a witch.
Oh,
too.
well, okay, that's bad, but that doesn't change anything.
Or a sorceress. I forget what was being bantered about.
What kind of warrior becomes so incensed by a woman telling him to shut his mouth that he immediately takes to arms?
Romans.
Yes,
Romans
apparently Romans.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Drunk Romans.
Perhaps.
Yes, thanks.
Did-
Thanks to our friend Basil.
Do these
Very
Romans need to have somebody go over there and have a talk with them?
Oh
No,
no.
The situation was diffused. It's okay, Bale. Just
We have bigger fish to fry, Belle.
I understand, but this
Or
does
crabs.
not. This does not. Haha! I see what you did there. This does not sit well. This does not sit well with me. I will. I will not make a fool of myself. However, if the let's just say that I heard you mention that that Callista should stay out of their way. Believe me, they would do well to stay out of mine as well.
well, we won't let them hurt her again.
No,
But
no.
But for
no,
now, we
won't.
don't need to go starting trouble.
Oh no, I didn't say start anything, but if they cross her or any of you, then yes, I shall turn one of them into paste.
Oh, you know what, Crystal? Did you?
Mhm.
Well, I don't know if you could have made it anyways, but there's a chance you didn't lose that second hold person because we use that concentration rule, even though they
Yeah, I
hit
was
you with
gonna
javelins.
ask you after the game, but do
Yeah.
you want me to go ahead and make that?
Yeah, you should just in case you want to use it. I mean, you might need it. Who
Yeah.
knows?
And
There's
it's a
17 points of
saving.
damage.
Yeah, I don't think I could make that because
It's
I
not
have to
even
make
possible,
like, yeah,
Yeah, it's not even possible. Actually, so yeah, so you would have lost that second hold person, unfortunately.
yep. I did mark that down because I thought so.
Yeah, I was just thinking of other thing, but yeah, it's right. So you have to roll under your stat with 3d6, but you add the damage to it. So yeah, there'd be no way you could. All right.
Yep.
So yeah, you know, you guys are having this conversation. The Romans are just sitting there, kind of. They seem to be slightly hungover, gathered around their fire. They kind of look at you and nod.
Yeah, I look at him too.
Basil went out to get some water earlier,
The
so
Stanga.
he's going to come back with some water. And along the way, you know, as he's passing those Roman soldiers, he's going to pass them one of the larger water skin and says, I understand that last night you came to my defense thinking that I was under attack. I just wanted to, you know, express my appreciation of your valor. But I must add that a woman over there that you've encountered was a scholar, one of the visitors, and you know how mages or scholars could be. Those mathematicians and ones that spend their time with books. I would like to apologize on her behalf, and we didn't mean to. And she didn't. I'm certain that she didn't mean any harm. It was basically a misunderstanding. And she's a friend of mine, so she does that often to me.
Yeah, they kind of squint at you a little bit, like you can see. I mean, their understanding of common is not great, but they say, "Oh, well, I'm sorry that your friend treats you as such. Brothers in arms should not attack each other."
And Basil
And they
takes
drink
out
the
his
water.
dagger, and you know, he hands it over to him and says, as a sign of solidarity from the support that you've given me last night, this is my gift from as a warrior to you, worthy warriors. And then he hands it over to them.
Oh, they take it and they say, "Well, if you need us, we are here."
He nods and he goes back to the tent, holding water for bringing water for everybody who's hungover.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you know it's later in the morning now. You again, there was like some buzz that the guy was missing, and they don't seem to make any effect to look for him. You know, they kind of just hear some people talking about it. You don't see any guards go out or anything. So whether or not how much they care about it is probably.
Is Tartok ship still at dock, or is it left?
Right. So it's still there, and as you're kind of looking around, you see Tartok leaving the main compound of the village with her two henchmen. So unfortunately you did not. That's what that roll was earlier. You did not see her go in to the village, but you see her leave now with her two henchmen. And she's kind of, and she just kind of walks. She might give a little side look to the village, but she doesn't pay much attention as she's walking towards the ship.
I look at Brighild. I say, I wonder if she left the children.
Oh, that's what I'm wondering too. Maybe she took the children on into the village and is preparing to leave, and just keep an eye out. And
Well, we have to go
Yeah.
that way. Well, I said I would meet with the merchant trader. It probably would look weird if I didn't, considering we're supposed to be traders.
Right, and you do have all
Let
this
us-
stuff too.
Yeah, and we have all
Yeah.
stuff Aramis gave me. Yeah.
let us take Callista with us. I think it would be best just us three go.
Okay.
All right, yeah. So if you go up to the gate, you do see, actually, you can see that they're you hear them calling on the deck and stuff. They're starting to pull out the dread. I can never think of the name of the, never see the name of the ship. Right?
Dreadclaw.
Dreadclaw. The Dreadclaw's starting to pull out from the dock. If you all wanted to move your ship up there, the other party members could do that, or actually your sailors could do that. I guess that's what they would probably do because you have a crew on the ship. Unless you told them to stay out in the water, that's up to you. But in any case, you can decide on that, I guess. Would you have had them just stay out there, or would you have told them to come in when they could? Your ship.
Since we're supposed to trade, probably come in.
Okay.
Like I said, we're trying to act a little bit like traders anyway. I at least, I do have a business.
Excellent. Yeah. So yeah, so you come to the gates, and as before, the guards are there, and if you are armed, they ask you to leave the weapons with them. Over by the I think it's number 6, K6. I think is the guardhouse. Yeah. You come up to it, and they have you leave them outside the guardhouse, and you head down to the central building. And outside of the central building is a kind of an oldish Eskimo man. He is crabkin, so he's painted red as always. And he's kind of looking, he looks a little grumpy. Kind of squints at you a little bit, and he says, welcome traders, I am Apemen. Come. And then he kind of just turns. When you get like 10, 15 feet away from him, he just like turns and starts walking, I guess, for you to follow him. And assuming that you do, the guards eventually kind of just stop and kind of watch you, just follow him. Like, they don't walk with you, they kind of just let you walk with them. And then they turn around and go back to their posts. So he brings you over to K8, which is his shop. And you come in, you can see that this is basically like a trading post for, some mining and building and fishing material, traveling gear, blankets, hammers, kind of some of the stuff that you guys brought to trade. So he has the type of stuff that you guys are looking to trade on for sale here. And he comes in and he brings you into kind of like a back room, where there's a table, and he sits down. And he says, well, we don't do consignment typically, so I'll pay you in either in trade of whale blubber or gold or copper. Solid copper, not copper quartz.
Right. Look at Brighild. I say, is gold okay with you?
No, I
I-
think that would be the best. Yes.
Gold then.
Okay, yeah.
And
The
I need
gold
to
would be
pay
like
Aramis back.
gold coin, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he looks at what you have, and you can you go ahead and make just a test of charisma. Assuming that you
Test of
do well.
charisma?
Yeah. So
Okay.
just to see how well you do that.
All right. My charisma is 15.
Yeah. So that's what that'd be like a 3 and 6. Yeah.
Okay. I rolled a 2.
All right. Perfect. All right. So we give you a bonus on his reaction. Oh man, he is grumpy today. You're lucky to get that bonus. 9. Okay, so he's no, friendly. Okay, You're friendly with the extra die. That's good. I gave you an extra die because you succeeded. Yeah, he actually offers what you kind of come with a price in mind, and he's good with that. I mean, we don't have to deal with the actual math of it, but basically you're getting what is a fair amount. He's not overpaying, but he's definitely giving you what would be fair for the gear, and he'll take it all, and he'll pay you in gold coin, which probably amounts to like something like 1,000 gold pieces or something like that. Which he has to get for you, though. Of course, he doesn't have it. So, but of course, you have to arrange for the people to unload the ship and blah blah. So that'll take probably most of the day, you know. And he says he'll send some men to do that. And then of course they'll come with the gold. You know, once you get it, you'll bring all the stuff over, and they'll count. You get it all off the ship. You count it together. You know, you do all that part. So that's going to take most of today to do that. At least one of you will have to be involved in that. Other than that, he seems a bit grumpy, but he's sociable in a sense. Like, you know, he's one of those people that's kind of like. "Rrr." But if you ask him a question, you want to talk to him. I mean, he's will talk to you. He asks you if you're staying at the trader village. You know, he's making light conversation.
Oh, yes, we camped there yesterday.
This is the first time I've seen you trading here. Is this your first time here, or you trading other goods normally?
This is our first time here. I've developed a business in various trade goods, and it's our first time to Grenfok.
Excellent. Well, if you want to, you know, expand your business, though, you know, taking the whale blubber would probably be a better deal for you. You could bring it back and sell it in the big markets. We have the best whaling here.
Oh, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Well, perhaps next time.
They say
I'm
that
sure
the
we'll-
currents near the end of the world can push a ship off, or whales in that case. So the whales here are the strongest of all the whales.
I see. Off into the Black Gulf, eh?
That's right.
Well, and it would also seem, since we seem to be direct and speaking and dealing things, that wonderful drink they serve at the tavern over there, it loosens people's lips. Understand that sometimes y'all deal in other things as far as flesh and blood.
Kind of looks at you and he says, "Were you dealing with Karpak?"
No, it wasn't her that it come from. It was just others speaking and talking, so that you make good deals on. I hate to use the
Karpak.
word, but labor.
Karpak is not allowed to drink. If you catch him there drinking, you should let the council know.
What?
He does not deserve his position. Drunkard. He spits. Everybody spits here. He spits on the ground.
Karpak.
But he says, well, I do not deal in the slave trade, but the crab men do often need slaves to work the copper mines and the silver mines. So yes, that is how it dealt with directly with the council. And
Well,
the
these people with the loose lips from the drink also mentioned children. You deal with children.
I don't deal with children.
Well,
Slave
surely they
children
do
would
not
be.
send the children to the mines. That would be too harsh work for children. Maybe they do
Definitely
things for around the village here.
No, they would not send children to the mine. And no, we do not keep slaves in the village. We believe that the crabmen have blessed us with the work that we do. We would never give that work to the slaves. Only the mines, which is dangerous work, do we.
No, I understand.
Yes. Huh. Child slaves, that would be places like Xambaala or Khromarium.
Yes, I've heard many stories about Xambaala.
Many, many stories.
Yes. Do you plan on taking your gold and heading back to buy other goods? What is your plans here in the archipelago?
Well, it's our first time here. We plan on taking our gold and perhaps exploring a bit.
Exploring.
We are, yes.
Well, the waters are
heard
quite
many
dangerous. Rumors.
Oh, yes. Is it true
Yes,
the
ma'am.
waters run red and copper lightning comes from the sky at times?
Ah. Yes, yes. Well, at Crystal Point, these things happen. Near the end of the world. That's where the whalers head, as I mentioned. You don't want to fall into the Black Gulf.
No. So you've...
You know, they say that there is a demonic black goat that guards a magical lake upon Crystal Point. Could you imagine? A magical lake.
a demonic goat.
Oh, and the goat is also interesting. I don't know. I've always felt like
Does the goat
goats
have a
are-
name?
I do not believe so. And demons do not like to set forth their names, for it gives mortals power among them. If you were to find the name of the demon goat, you would probably have power. So the old wives say. I don't know much about those things.
Hmm.
Perhaps the shaman would know.
Yes, I was going to ask you about the shaman. Sakani is his name?
Sakani is the shaman? Yes, her.
Is her, their name. Are they willing to talk about the crabmen and how one would show
Sakani.
worship? Sakani?
Yeah,
I do.
Sagani.
I do collect tales.
Yeah, it's Saghani, just in case you want to put it in the song.
Yes, thank you.
So far, you know. Yeah, well, actually, if you said, of course, there is a an altar to the crabmen in her hut. Would you like to show a reference to the crab? No?
Well, I would certainly like to see how it is done. I do collect stories in addition to trading. So
Well, our customs are not here for city folk to mock and observe like some kind of holiday trip.
I would never mock. I would never mock. And perhaps I'll be moved to give worship. That's happened to me before.
Oh, has it?
Yes.
Well, I am not one to make that judgment. That is up to Sagani, if you are to show reference or not. But I certainly could bring you there.
Yes. Yes, I think so. I look at Brakehild and making sure, but I think that's what we'd like to do next.
Oh yeah, she'll nod in agreement.
Cool, yeah. All right, that's K10. Okay, so yeah, he's going to bring you over there. So cutting back to the rest of the guys, you see your ship coming in. You know, once the pirate ship leaves. Which would be Muda and Basil and Bale and I guess Helene. They don't care.
I'll start helping offload.
Okay.
I got lost. I'm sorry. I thought you
That's
were
okay.
just going to describe the ship coming in.
Oh no, I want to know if you're going to go to it or not.
Oh, well, do we know anything about it?
About your ship?
It's our ship coming in.
Yeah, your ship.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. So the Dreadclaw is pulled out, the pirate ship, and then once it has, under the orders of your orders you gave, standing order, your ship is moving in to unload its stuff.
Okay, I thought another ship was coming in, not
Oh, no,
ours.
Oh, no,
Gotcha.
they're not.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
If they cut the line, you guys will have to be in a fist fight.
I will go to our ship, yes, and help oversee the loading and offloading and make sure that no one is going to muck up the works.
Okay, yeah. You guys start heading towards your ship, and as it pulls in, and one of your sailors, it sees you, and he kind of kind of signals for you to hurry to come to the ship. Also, the Ixian with the mustaches stops Helene in conversation, so she doesn't go with you because she's basically telling him that she's coming off his ship. So she's got to make that deal.
Okay,
so yeah, good.
I hurry over then if he's waving me over to see if there's a problem.
Yeah, you guys rush over to the ship, and he leans forward and he says, "We've got 2 stowaways."
Oh God!
Yeah, come, they're below.
Basil
They said-
joins Bale.
Yeah, they said they are friends of yours, Sir Basil.
Oh, and then I stop and look at Basil, and I wave my hands like a lord in front of me and say, "After you, my good sir."
Basil just shrugs and he heads down there.
Okay, yeah, so-
follow him.
So below
I don't
decks,
know what anybody's talking about. I'm just going to continue to unload here.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys go below decks, and you see, with their hands tied, kind of sitting back to back, you see your friend there from the cage and his brother. And of course, he looks up and smiles as soon as you come in, Basil, and he says, "Ah, it worked perfectly, my savior. We are here to help you. This is my brother." And then the other guy smiles, and he says, the tall warrior woman said that I could find employment on your ship."
Well, that would probably be either Brighild, I think. But he
Yes, it is.
walks over there and he leans close to the guy that has escaped and says, well, it seems you're unhurt, right? Everything went
Yes.
well?
"Yes, thank you. You are my savior, and I will pay you back. A life for a life, as it would be." He said, "We swam to the ship."
He unties him and he looks back to Bale and says, well, I mean, these fellas seem like they think that we had something to do with their freedom. And he smiles at him knowingly.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, when all this happened, I was busy. So, my friend, I love you as a brother in arms, but this is your deal. So you're the one that gets to go and tell Panesta and Brigand that this is all for you.
Very well. And he looks at him and says, well, perhaps I had something to do with what happened last night, perhaps not. But you are free, and that is the only thing that's important. If you wish to help us, then it is by your choice. I don't believe we would simply have you tied up here. But make sure that you're not seen within the town, because if they know that we're harboring you, the fugitives, then they would probably decide to drive us out or worse.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and venture one piece of advice to you two gentlemen, and I use the term loosely. If you want, do you want a place on this ship?
"Yes, we will work hard. We are sailors by trade."
Okay. And you want to get off this island, yes?
"Yes, we must get off the island.
Yes, you must get off the island. Okay.
We are being persecuted for our religious beliefs."
Keep your ass on the boat. Don't get off. Do not go back into town. Don't do anything. You stay. We're going to see how well you can follow orders. And right now, your orders are to stay here.
This we can do.
Okay. And then Basil here will handle the rest with the captain.
Well,
Excellent.
that is good, Bale. And he nods. He says, we have some krill bars if you're hungry. Lots and lots of them. And
Oh,
he goes
excellent.
back there. He goes back there and comes back with a platter full of them.
They're on board the boat. They can make bread and eat that. Stop giving away all the krill bars.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we
Well,
have a cabin full of
and
them.
And they did say that the the crew. I mean, your crew is not. I mean, you guys are good guys. So like they captured them, but they gave them water and food and stuff.
Yeah.
So
See,
yeah,
they've
yeah.
eaten.
So
Stop giving
yeah,
away all the shrimp.
yeah. They'll stay below decks. They say. And up top, Moody are directing the unloading process, which is they open up the hatches and they're bringing all the goods out. So that's all happening. And we'll cut back into town. So you head towards the shaman's place, who actually Callisto's already met once.
I go back up to
see.
the top to finish supervising the offloading of the cargo and all that other good stuff.
Yeah, they'll stay below, and they'll whatever. There's probably some work below they can do, and they will immediately get to it. They seem very enthusiastic to help, so they can work for their ride as it would be. So the shaman's place is like the others. Essentially, it's just slightly larger. It's kind of these are, if you remember, they're kind of like almost like igloos, but they're made of stone and mud. So, but they're in that kind of dome shape. And when you come in, the first you come in and you can actually see that there's a all the ways towards the back, so that you're looking straight in. There's basically like a small kind of makeshift altar, and on it is a desiccated head of a crabman. And that would be the first time you've ever seen a crabman. So you would have an idea of how large they are, because crabmen are quite large. And the head is on the altar. There are small stones and shells and baubles around it, as well as incense burning and candles. And she's meditating. You see her gray hair coming down. And when you kind of get to the doorway and the trader calls, she turns. Sagani calls with a smile. She has a smile and she says, "Ah, welcome. It is good to see you again, Callista."
Sorry. She says, "Yes, it's good to see you as well."
Please come in.
And Callista will.
Yeah. So she's got the various little, like I said, like shells and various like totems and stuff hanging up. You do see there's like one kind of table that's laid out where she has various poultices and things that she's making. You would recognize it, Callista, as being kind of alchemical in sense, like that she's making various items for that purpose. Yeah.
Science of alchemy. It's one that I haven't quite grasped yet.
Well, we are taught from our ancestors to heal and to help with the various herbs and remedies that can be had from the island and the sea.
That's very
I
interesting.
make these, yeah. And she kind of shows you. She also obviously addresses that the other two people are there. She kind of nods at you, and she shows you these like poultices that she's got wrapped in leaves. She says these are made from the magic that comes from within the crab shells and the seaweed mixed together, and that can heal wounds if applied to the naked wound.
I would very much love to study this art if you ever have time to teach.
Would you have
Oh.
some poultices that we can buy for our friend here? She was injured the evening with confrontation she was involved in.
Yes, of course. Many travelers and traders buy these so for any injuries they might have. They are 50 gold pieces. She has what does she have? Let's see how many she might have. Oh wow, she has a lot of them actually. She has 12 of them, so she has a lot. I've just made a fresh batch. I could teach you, child, but you would need to commit 5 years of your time.
Wow. Perhaps when this adventure is done, I shall seek you out.
She nods. She says, I will tell you that these poultices will not work unless you have given reverence to the crabmen. And she kind of motions back to the head back there. She says, "We have no prayers set in words that one must repeat. It must come from within you and your reverence to the crab men. And if you would, I would not sell you a poultice without, for it will not work."
That is up to you to collect if you wish to give some type of reverence. We can come up with enough coin, I'm sure, to buy you some to help you heal, though, if you desire.
Yes, I am a bit short at this moment, though.
Oh, we have all kinds of gold coming in, so I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah, don't worry about gold.
Yes, I'm worried about, like I say, she says you will have to make some type of reverence at altar, right? It's up to you to decide if that is something you were willing to do.
I have no problem with giving reverence to the crab, to the
Crabmen.
crabmen.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. It's like
do
up
you
on the altar.
actually
There's
want me
like
to do something?
No, I mean, you can just say that you're doing it. I mean, unless you want to roleplay that out, that's up to you.
Oh, great crabmen who live in the sea. Blessed be the waters that you wash from. Blessed be the shells that give you shelter under the ocean.
Boo. Shelter.
Yeah.
Shelter. I see what you did there.
I tried.
Oh, boy.
You need an apprenticeship too.
Yeah, you take some damage. No, I'm just kidding.
You take some damage.
Where's them Roman javelins?
I was gonna say I have a meteor hammer.
Javelins come flying through the door. Witchcraft.
Yeah, so you give reverence, and you could purchase a poultice, which will in fact heal a D4. You can have as many as you like. There's 12 of them. After you do that, she says to you,
So we only need one.
Actually, she'll address the entire group, and she says, "I was telling Callista last night that my brother has been on a vision quest for nearly a year to Crystal Point. And as you are sailors and adventurers, perhaps you could bring a message to him for me."
Well, we were planning on sailing that way to see what we can see. I would be willing to do a delivery for you.
I appreciate it. If you are going to Crystal Point, and it could be quite dangerous, so perhaps my brother will help you. But tell him that he is needed here at some time, and he will know that time when this token I make, and she takes a piece of like a crab leg basically, and a leaf, and she cuts her hand. She drips blood into it. She wraps it up and ties it with a thing, and she says, "Give him this token, and tell him that when the meat is no longer safe to eat, that he must come back to me, because I will need his help. And he will know this came from me by my blood."
Callista will take that, and she will say, "On my honor, I promise this will arrive to your brother."
Yeah, she nods. His name is Stiko. Sitiok. Sitiyyok. Sitiok.
Okay, okay. Let's come back to... Is it common for people to go on vision quests to Crystal Point?
No. No one in our known history, living history, has gone. People have gone, but nobody alive today. It is said to be the furthest island, the closest you can go to the edge of the world, in the Crab Archipelago. And because of that, the sea creates a natural connection with the crabs and the flow. Because of the nearness to the Black Gulf.
Yes. What inspired him to go?
A vision.
Do you know what kind of vision? If I can ask?
I do not know. He did not share that with me. Typically, when a shaman sees a vision, they do not, of themselves, they do not share that, for it is a message of a job that they must do. So I do not know why he left, but I do know that I will need him. For I have seen a vision of myself, with him by my side.
Well, then we will make sure we, as Calesta said, to get this to your brother.
Okay. And she'll actually say, each of you, take a poultice, of course, and obviously she's not going to charge you for the first one.
Hey Daniel, would we
yeah.
know about her relationship with the council? I mean, is she like on very good terms with the village elder council and all that? Or will we know
You
that?
have not heard anything about that. I do not think. Let me just check. Yeah, I don't think you encountered any rumors or anything about her and the council, and she's not ever mentioned the council to you. So, right, yeah, there's been no rumors, so you don't know. You'd have to ask her, I guess.
Yeah, I'm going to ask her something. This might ruin it all, but I'm going to look at her and go, well, for what we are doing for you in payment, I would like to ask a question. We understand that there are certain merchants that bring children here for some type of labor or something. Would you be willing to share what you know about that?
You see that she looks a little bit nervous, like she kind of looks around, and then she kind of walks past you towards the entrance to the igloo, and she pulls down the there's like a heavy fur cloth that drops down at night to keep it warm in there, and then she turns, kind of now she's kind of in front of the door, and she says, "We do not deal in slaves of children." And I do not approve of the fact that we are, in fact, holding children here now. They are not for us. They are for Tartak's own bidding. And the sooner she takes those children here, the better we will be. To hold children is to bring curses upon yourself.
Yes, I agree. It is the most disturbing type of business, and I guess I could see where a pirate would be involved in such, though.
Yes. Were it not for her sister upon the council. Sister? Yeah, I think sister. No, brother, actually. Were it not for her brother upon the council, I do not believe we would deal at all with that woman. Though the crabmen do require the labor for the mines, and they must come from somewhere, unfortunately.
Oh, these children, are they hold them in some type of prison, or are they just in houses, or what? Or do you know?
Let me see if she would know that. High or low?
Hello.
Um, she says that as far as she knows, they are being held in the guardhouse. And now when she says that, you actually realize that the first time you came here, the guardhouse was open. Like, you actually could see inside of it. And I think I mentioned this, that there was a cell in there. But when you dropped your weapons off this time, they didn't actually bring you to the guardhouse. They kind of took them when you were near there. So
Okay.
they kind of kept you away from the guardhouse. But yeah, she says that there's a cell in the guardhouse for prisoners, you know, which is rarely
Yes, that
used
is-
because, you know,
That is definitely most disturbing to keep a frightened child in a cell.
yes, there are two of them,
Yes.
as far as I know.
Well, your help is appreciated, or your information.
Be wary where you
Yes,
tread.
and-
It can be dangerous. The task that I think I see is on your mind. But one must do what they believe to be right. And you'll see no effort from me to stop you.
That is certainly true. One last question. What?
Why not?
Yeah, right. The trader, Hanapan, mentioned something about a demon on Crystal Point. A demon goat.
Oh. Well, if such a demon exists, surely my brother would have confronted it. And I know in my heart that he is alive, so perhaps it is gone, if it ever existed. I do not know.
Perhaps if he confronted it, does that mean that shamans know how to find out a demon's name?
Yes, well, of course.
Is that
What
something
you
that
must do is you must find the enemy of the demon. The demon's enemy will always know its name.
the enemy? Well, something for the stories that I will tell, even if the demon does not really exist.
Yes.
Thank you.
Let me see if she knows anything about Crystal. She will tell you, beyond the fact that she knows her brother is there, is that, which I think you've actually already heard this before, but she does know this, that there is or she's heard it anyways, that there is an ancient Hyperborean shrine on top of the cliffs of Crystal Point. That she knows, she says.
All right. Well, we will definitely be going there, like I said, so we'll be careful and we'll try to make sure your brother gets back to you safely. Although you've seen your vision that he will, so.
Indeed. Vision's going to be a funny thing. No, she steps away now. I mean, not that she was, I guess she could have tried to block you, but she would not have been very successful, I'm sure. But she steps away from the door now, so you can walk past her to leave. As it seems you are planning that.
Yep, I think we're done.
Yeah, and she doesn't walk with you back out. I mean, nobody's really guarding you inside the village. You don't have any weapons or anything, so you could theoretically walk around if you wanted to, but nobody's really stopping you. You're at 10 right now. There is a blacksmith, which you would be able to know because you can smell it. That's 7. So,
K6 is the guardhouse, right?
That's right. 6 is the guardhouse. 7, and you would have seen it anyway. You probably walked past it at one point. 7 is a blacksmith, Let me see if you would know what 9 is, because you haven't been back there yet. No. I don't think you really know that. Unless you want to just wander around aimlessly. I mean, you certainly can walk around the village. It won't take you that long if you want to. Like I said, nobody's stopping you.
Let's say we walk towards the guardhouse, and if they approach us, we just tell them we're looking for something that we dropped here, and just keep going if they move us along.
Yes,
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you approach, so you pass by the number 11, which is the elder's place, and head towards the guardhouse. So when you do, there's a guard standing out front, and you see your weapons and stuff leaning against the wall there. There is, in fact, this time, like the furs, like she pulled down, hanging over the door, so you can't see into it. But the one guard is there with your weapons, and he kind of nods and he says, "Don't worry, I kept them in good condition." And he smiles.
Well, that's
But
good.
it's
Thank
just one guard.
You just see one guard there. Yeah, up on the palisade wall, there's oftentimes 2 guards kind of patrolling, like walking around. That's what you saw at night. But there's only one guard standing in front of the guardhouse right now. Yeah. Let's see. Is there still a guy up on the? Let me just check to see the guard patrol. I believe there's also 2 guys up on the palisades. So as far as guards that you see, you just see 2. One sit walking around that like it's not like it's called a palisade. It's not really a palisade. It's like a mound. So there's like a let me just bring the map up so I can show you guys. So like this here is like a mound, like a slightly raised area, right where the drawbridge goes over. So this guards kind of walk around that, and at night they just stand there because they put lanterns over by the right here. But during the day they kind of patrol. So you just see him walking, and then there's one guy standing right by number 6, and then that's all the guards you see currently. Everybody else is either inside buildings or, not on duty or whatever. Yeah, he smiles, and he offers you your weapons back.
Yes, thank you for keeping them safe.
No problem. Can I ask you a
As we
question?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
My friend was in the Bloody Bucket last night, and he said that you were trading in bars made of krill. Is that true?
We do have some bars made of krill, yes.
Oh, that sounds absolutely delicious.
Really?
Yes.
Well, they are. They're fabulous.
Well, why don't you come to the Bloody Bucket this evening and let us buy you a round of drinks and have some of those bars. And Brickhill's going to wink at them.
Yep.
Wow, that would be excellent. Well, thank you so much. For sure, I'll come by when I'm off duty. He looks at this guy. Says, I'll be off when the sun drops. I don't like the nighttime duty. I tend to fall asleep. It's so boring around here.
No, you just meet us there and we'll make sure the night time is not boring this time.
Ooh,
Excellent. I'll see you then. He smiles.
nice.
And yeah,
All right.
you head out. Yeah. When you come to the drawbridge area there, the 2 guys that were circling around kind of eventually circle back around and they drop the drawbridge for you, and you are able to walk across and out into the main island area.
Look at Breakhill and I say, well, I don't know how long they're going to be there, so we need to make our move quickly, but I think we started to get an in with this krill bar guy that now you are.
Yes, I'm hoping that he will definitely, we can lift the keys or something for him at least, or maybe he can get us part of the way. We will discuss our plans, though, of at least getting the children and getting out of here.
Excellent.
Agreed.
That seems like a perfect place to leave it. So, yeah, any final thoughts as we kind of close down?
Yeah, Basil, he's gonna walk up to those two prisoners and he's gonna say, you said that those two children are being held at the guard's house. Is that correct?
Yes.
I see. Well, as a cavalier cataphract, one must do what is decent and honorable. A warrior must be disciplined in mind and body. And to that end, I must subscribe to Bandits Keep, Actual Play, click like, leave comment, and ring the bell for future notifications. And he smiles at him.
They look up and eat a krill bar and they say, "Oh, well, thank you very much."